thought you were wrecking
work.
everything.
On me wrecking
It's
it?
good radio.
No, it's not. I came in to wreck.
Like, here.
Right, we're good. We're good. I can hear you.
Sure, it was good to watch it with the boys. Like, I never seen Lee jump up as much in the excitement, and I just looked at him. He was so happy that last goal went in that net. How he put his foot down to get it past the goalkeeper.
You see, the thing is, those are memories forever.
Yeah, like
Those
I'll
are
remember
memories
that.
forever. Well,
And, like
you'll
I've
be
never
dead,
seen
they'll
him.
remember it.
Yeah, I'll remember too. But just to see him jump up and the happiness in his face and all of that, I'll remember.
But that's
that.
the joy of sport. You see, sport it just does that.
Yeah,
Takes
because
you
we're not
out
a
of-
big footy. We watch.
Do you know,
like Noah
that's-
thinks
that's
it's the
why you-
Donegal match yesterday. He thought it was Donegal playing. Like Donegal's playing Kerry, and I says no, it's not. No, it's a different ball game altogether. Do you know?
Literally a different ball.
So I was kind of explaining to the kids, no, it's not Donegal. No, it's Ireland playing here. They're playing countries here and stuff like this. Like if I know nothing, I know the basics. But it was a good bus. You enjoyed it, didn't you?
That's all part of the learning curve too. Honestly, I find it sometimes can be frustrating. And the darts semi-finals were on, so I was watching the football and I went, "Oh, I can't be bothered with this." Then I switched the darts.
You didn't,
then I
did
got
you?
an alert for the 80th minute, and then I switched over. I was back and forwards. I was just looking at it going, "There's no way we can pull two back like that." That's just being. I could say. Here,
You thought we
I was
lost.
In my
We thought
orange
we-
jersey,
you just gave up.
and I watched it, and I was I was switching between the two because I would just here we go again,
Right.
you know. But anyway,
But it was
I
amazing.
was proven wrong like so many others.
But it's such a great buzz. Do you know?
Yeah, lots of
Come
great
here, you're
videos
on
from
training with
pubs.
Burgundy.
Yes,
See,
just wearing
Aoife
a bit of
Brogan was saying
Burgundy,
Burgundy.
Yes, okay.
Who bought that for you then?
Me?
You bought it yourself?
Of course I did.
Right.
I'm
Don't
going to
it-
wear my burgundy shoes tomorrow now as well.
Yeah, you know, very posh. Come here.
Anyway, I better
Burgundy
go.
boy, have a good show.
See you in the morning. All right, that's Lee Gooch back tomorrow morning at 6:30. It's 9 o'clock, time for Monday's 9 till noon show. After we get the news headlines now from Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Tributes are being paid to 5 young people who lost their lives in a crash in Dundalk. Chloe McGee, Shay Duffy, Alan McCluskey, Dylan Cummins and Chloe Hibson died when their Volkswagen Golf was in a collision with a Land Cruiser on the RD Road shortly after 9 o'clock on Saturday night. Forensic teams have examined the scene and Gardaí are appealing for anyone with information to come forward. Ophia College Principal Padraig McGovern is remembering Chloe McGee, who taught at the school in Dundalk.
She loved fun. She had a great sense of humour. She was involved in everything in the school, a real part and parcel of the school, and loved working with her students.
Police in Derry arrested a 22-year-old man on Saturday after a stop and search on Ringford Road uncovered suspected Class B drugs. The man was detained on suspicion of possession and involvement in supply of Class B substances as well as driving without insurance or a licence. Officers seized 2 mobile phones, suspected cannabis and the vehicle, and a follow-up search at his home led to the discovery of another phone and suspected cannabis edibles. He was later released on bail while inquiries continue. The Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is urging shoppers to slow down before making Black Friday purchases. It's after new research showed high levels of buyer regret. The survey found that nearly 3/4 of consumers had made unplanned purchases during sales and almost 60% later regretted buying the item. It says the pressure of time-limited offers can push people into spending more money than intended and is advising shoppers to make a list, set a budget and to stick to it. Grania Griffin from the CCPC has this advice.
You know, make it easy on yourself to find out where there's good value and avoid maybe overspending or like getting drawn into impulse purchases. We would also say that most people are planning on shopping online. There are huge numbers of scams out there at the moment, and we would advise people to be very, very conscious of that.
There has been a call for a meeting between Glenties Municipal District and the Co-op on Tory Island to see a blue light fire service installed. Currently, a red light service operates on both Tory and Darnmore Island, meaning limited fire service provisions are in place. Councillor Michael Colin McGilla Asbug says the island deserves the same level of service as the mainland, and he says other islands have the service.
But what I've been told is that there's other islands down the western corridor that have a blue light service, and a blue light service is equal to the mainland. And I think it's not acceptable in any shape or form that Wutcher-Harry are dependent on a trailer, on somebody having a van to tow the trailer and to pump out the water if there's a house on fire or if there's any need for the fire brigade to be called out.
Looking now to weather, it'll be cool and dry for most of today with plenty of sunshine and just the odd isolated light shower. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with more at 10 o'clock.
The best things in life are all heroes, no zeros. Take Santa and his reindeer. Sure, the big man gets all the headlines. But could he do it without Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen? Never. You need every single one of them, together, to deliver that Christmas magic. Just like Cadbury Heroes. 9 festive legends. The best groups are all heroes, no zeros. Like Cadbury Heroes.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. You're very welcome along to another edition of the 9 to Noon Show here on Highland Radio with me, Greg Hughes. I hope you're well. I hope you had a nice weekend. And we're here to keep you company for the next 3 hours and throughout the day here on your number one local radio station, Highland Radio. It's 5 minutes past 9 on Monday, the 17th of November, 2025. We're back in studio on Friday with a lovely day out, actually, at the Finn Valley College as they launched their Our Donegal album. And it was great to meet so many of the management, of course, teachers, and the amazingly talented students. And any show that we broadcast of the 9 till Noon Show, if you missed any of it, by the way, you can go back and listen to some great performances, some lovely poetry readings and some songs and just great conversation. But we're going to do it all again today in the studio, as I mentioned, and we've lots coming up on the programme, including Shay Given, his reaction to that amazing game yesterday where Ireland defied the critics, me amongst them, I suppose, and not that they care what I think, and secured a playoff spot for the World Cup. It's a convoluted, complicated situation. We don't know quite who we're going to be playing next, but we do know we are going to be on one of 4 pathways to the World Cup. There are 16 teams in the playoffs. There's a semi-final and a final. Each round is a single leg. So the 12 group runners up from the World Cup qualifying and the 4 best-ranked UEFA Nations League section winners that have not already qualified, they'll go into the draw. And then the 16 teams will be drawn into 4 playoffs with 4 teams in each making up 2 semi-finals and a final. The matches are on March 26th and the final would be on the 31st of March. So March could be a big month for Ireland, but we don't really know which pot we're going to be in. There's 4 pots and it depends on, seeding and whether you have home advantage or not home advantage. And we could be in pot 3. If certain results go a certain way, we could end up in pot 2 with home advantage. So there's a lot to play for. We don't know who we could play, but the World Cup dream is alive. We'll talk more about that, as I say, a little later on. If you want to share any stories about that game yesterday, please get in touch, 08660 25,000. I had the team completely written off after the first 2 games, to be honest with you. And last night, really, I suppose, shows that maybe you should, back the team if you're a proper fan. Calls have been made to install further traffic calming measures in Ramelton after alarming data showed some drivers entering the town at speeds of up to 3 times the legal limit. This is the Donegal News. The data, which was recorded on a radar speed sign, showed that between August and October this year, the majority of drivers travelling into the town from Milford was significantly over the 50-kilometre speed limit. The sign, which is positioned in a built-up area of the town, also registered speeds of up to, now if you're familiar with this road, this will shock you, 150 kilometres per hour. Declan Meehan has spoken to the paper about that data. I didn't realise it recorded the data. It's good. That's actually a good. It's good data to have. The Derry News this morning: a Derry woman whose father died suddenly is urging anyone sent for an echocardiogram for potential heart problems to make sure the results are sent to their GP. Nadine Hamilton's father, Terence Moore, affectionately known as Digger, died on June 15th, 2022 from a massive heart attack. Speaking to the paper, Miss Hamilton said, "My father died 3 months after he underwent an echocardiogram in Altnagelvin Hospital. My sister and I were devastated at his death. Daddy was central to our family. He meant the world to Erin and me." On to the national newspapers and just the most horrendous news came to us from the north and east of this country, and 5 young people, 5 young friends, 5 young people with their lives in front of them, their lives wiped out in just a moment. And it was sort of like a story or an event that seems all too familiar to us here in the Northwest. And I think whilst the entire country will be devastated by this awful road tragedy, I think particularly here in the Northwest it will resonate more, because unfortunately we've gone through this ourselves on a number of very sad occasions. 5 young friends died and 3 others were left injured after a horrific 2-car collision that left 1 vehicle engulfed in flames. The devastating collision happened when a Volkswagen Golf carrying friends Chloe McGee, 23, Shane Duffy, 21, Alan McCluskey, 23, Dylan Cummins, 23, and Chloe Hipson, 21, and a 6th person, and a Toyota Land Cruiser. They were involved in a head-on collision on a road near Dundalk, County Louth on Saturday night. The Volkswagen Golf caught fire following the collision just after 9 p.m. The friends were travelling together on their way to Dundalk for a night out. The only survivor in the Volkswagen Golf, a young man in his 20s, was brought to hospital in Drogheda with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. A man and a woman from the other vehicle were also taken to hospital in Drogheda with non-life-threatening injuries. The tragedy represents the worst loss of life in a single collision on Irish roads for over 15 years. And we'll be linking into Dundalk a little later on to hear more. And I suppose we can only at this point send our good wishes, our prayers, our love, our support to everyone affected by that, and that will affect an awful lot of people. As I say, it was felt right across the nation, not least in that local community there. On to the Irish Times now, and the acting leadership of the Presbyterian Church in Ireland said failings in the area of child protection were inexcusable and appealed to abuse survivors to come forward. If you don't want to speak to Presbyterian Church in Ireland, then please get in touch with the police or victim support, it said. It follows the announcement last Wednesday by the church's moderator, Dr. Trevor Gribben, that he is to resign at the end of this month over failings in the church's child safeguarding practices. Now, you might remember Dr. Gribben was on this programme not so long ago. He was up here visiting and had a series of events. I'm not quite sure if he knew at that time that his resignation was imminent, but it is only a short couple of weeks since we were speaking to him. On behalf of the church, I apologise unreservedly to everyone affected by this and to the wider church. We want to do everything we can to support victims and survivors of our failings. We are truly sorry, he said. He was inexpressibly grieved and ashamed by this and said, "We will not sweep this under the carpet. We will open ourselves to eternal review and will cooperate fully." An external audit within the church was already underway, designed by the Safeguarding Board for Northern Ireland, called Section 12. This audit will review its practices and processes and will be submitted to the Safeguarding Board, Reverend Bruce said. It's just remarkable what went on or potentially can be going on in these institutions. The level of abuse on such a scale from really, if you were to break it down, a relatively small cohort of the population is really, truly quite remarkable, quite scary. The Irish Daily Mail this morning: the coalition partners are at war over immigration as Fine Gael senators called for speedier actions. Tensions are expected to accelerate between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael after the curious decision by the junior coalition partner to table a Seanad motion on the sensitive issue. The performance of Fianna Fáil Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan on the matter is believed to have propelled him to the top of the party's succession stakes. One Fianna Fáil source said, "It's a curious decision. Immigration is an ongoing, simmering issue. Responsible coalition partners do not, if they are intelligent, raise hairs on matters like this, though it has been disguised by the ongoing Fianna Fáil leadership crisis and the housing plan, privately tensions have been growing between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael over what is being seen as an attempt by Fine Gael to seize control of the immigration issue. And there were more comments actually from Simon Harris in this regard yesterday. Well, the issue intensified in the wake of last month's City West riots in South Dublin when Taoiseach Simon Harris said, "Our migration numbers are too high, and I think that is really an issue that needs to be considered in a very serious way by government." Mr Harris, whose party held the Justice portfolio from 2011 to 2025, warned one of the reasons they are so high is that there are too many people who come to this country and are told they do not have a right to be here, and it is taking too long for them to leave the country. He added, "We have to listen to people in this country who I believe are saying we used to live in a country where 2,000 to 3,000 people sought international protection each year." The Fine Gael private member's motion also raises the issue of the scale of the numbers, warning there are genuine concerns by local communities around the provision of international protection in Ireland, which is quite a remarkable position from Fine Gael, especially considering they had justice for 14 years. But really, what they're saying is what a lot of people have been saying. And if someone had said it on this show, they'd have been said, "Don't platform them. You know, that's racist, that's this and that's the other." And now Fine Gael themselves are using this same language. And apparently there's a bit of tension between them and Fianna Fáil. We'll get an update on this story a little later on as well. It's from the Irish Daily Mirror, and it's the search for a missing UK Navy crew member. It ended as light failed last night, and they have not been found, the UK's Ministry of Defence said. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary Tide search crew member was last seen at about 10:30pm on Friday. A large-scale multi-agency search has been taking place in the sea off the northwest coast between Tory Island and Eagle Island in Mayo. No further details have been released about the crew member, and their family has requested privacy. And of course, there would have been local involvement in that search, and we'll find out what the story is there. All things going well a little later on. And finally, let's finish with the game. Troy Parrott's big toe. I think that does him a little bit of a disservice too, because the way he finished that goal last evening, it was directed into the goal. It was really showed great agility. Well, Troy Parrott's big toe has sent Ireland to next March's World Playoffs. The AZ Alkmaar striker's hat-trick in Budapest yesterday after his double against Portugal on Tuesday will rank as one of the all-time great weeks for an Irish footballer. Ireland have just picked up back-to-back wins against a pair of higher-ranked teams. Astonishing. Who would have thought in those dark moments after the defeat in Yerevan, when even Heimir Hallgrimsson struggled to see the light at the end of the tunnel, that their Group F campaign would end like this? It looked like another chapter would be written in the book of glorious Irish failures, but that chapter is not there just yet. 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp and text number.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Newspapers are kindly supplied by Cosgrove Centra, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Now with the new look Mountaintop Diner.
As your bump gets bigger, sleeping on your side helps keep your baby safe. It's okay if you wake up on your back at night, just turn on to your side again. Visit mychild.ie for advice on pregnancy, baby and toddler health.
Self-assessed taxpayers. Your income tax return is now due. Use Ross to pay and file online by the 19th of November. For more information, visit www.revenue.ie/pay and file. Don't wait. Pay and file today to ensure you avoid interest, late filing surcharges and penalties.
For your next menswear choice, visit Watson Menswear in Letterkenny. From suits to casual wear, there's big names to choose from like Andre, Rima's Umo, Superdry and Penguin. If you're going to a special occasion, get fitted in style for less with a 3-piece suit, shirt, tie and shoes, all for an amazing €299. That's at Watson Menswear. Open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny, and online at watsonmenswear.com. The Christmas Club is also now open, where a small deposit will secure any item.
It's here, the new Opel Frontera. Join Manor Motors for the Frontera Test Drive event and discover the Wow, the new family fun SUV from Opel. With big comfort, huge space and room for 7. Choose hybrid or electric and make every drive a new adventure. Get behind the wheel at Manor Motors, your Opel dealer. Now with 5 years unlimited warranty. The new Opel Frontera. Fun has found its family. All this week on the Naughty Alarm Clock, we've teamed up with a brand new boot store in Letterkenny Retail Park. Tune in each day from Monday to Friday for your chance to win fabulous beauty and skincare gift sets. Don't miss out. It's all thanks to the brand new boot store in Letterkenny Retail Park.
Uisce Éireann is Ireland's national water utility, responsible for delivering clean, safe and reliable national public drinking water and wastewater services for Ireland. For any questions about public water services or to report an issue in your area, we can be contacted 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 1800 278 278 or visit water.ie. Uisce Éireann. Delivering water services for Ireland.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
Okay, it's 19 minutes past 9, so the headline writers are having a ball, aren't they? The Late Troy Show, etc., etc. Because Ireland's World Cup dream is alive and well after that remarkable come-from-behind victory in Budapest, beating Hungary 3-2 at the Puskás Arena. Shay Given, former Republic of Ireland goalkeeper, joins us now. Shay, where does this rank in terms of just performances and results and campaigns, I wonder?
Well, good morning first and foremost. Yeah, just an incredible few days, isn't it? From Thursday night beating Portugal, which was, I was there myself and at the Aviva. It was special. And you think, can they back it up away in Hungary, obviously, who are going for the exact same spot to get into the playoffs, and 2-1 down with 10 minutes to go. You're thinking, the dream's over, and the way they just kept going and to go in the 96th minute or whatever it was when that final goal went in, it was just, I think it was pandemonium up and down the country and around the county, I'm sure, of Donegal. It was just madness, and brought back so many memories, for me, especially, as a player, but then even as a fan, the Jack Charlton era, all the way back to living in Donegal, when the guys won a game of that magnitude, it brings the whole country together, doesn't it? It really does, from babies getting lifted aloft to grandparents jumping off the sofa. It's just mental what the football can do, and this team now hopefully can, they've written themselves in a little bit of the history books, because those memories the last few days will last a lifetime. But we hope we can do that final hurdle in March and get to the World Cup.
I mean, to even have those games, hopefully games, to look forward to in March is really quite remarkable. What do you put the turnaround down to? Because you know what we've seen in the last two games compared to what we saw in the earlier games in this campaign, it's just day and night, Shay.
It is, yeah. I mean, a couple of months ago when we lost in Armenia, we thought the party was over, didn't we? We thought it was so far to get to the World Cup at that stage. We thought the dream was over, and they've turned it around. The belief, I think, in the camp, I think the manager deserves credit, because he's never got too high or low. Even after the game yesterday, he was quite calm, I felt, after the game. So I don't know how he keeps that calmness, but that's a skill in itself. But hopefully we can keep this feel-good factor of these two games. I know March is a few months away, which is no bad thing, because I think, the lads can reset, have focus again, and going into their March games, really ready to hopefully, get over the final hurdle, get to the World Cup, because I think they've seen the reaction of the country now and what this team means, what it means to the fans. And I think this team and the squad and management have had a lot of probably stick and criticism over the last few years by not qualifying. And this last couple of days, you hope that feel-good factor really goes into their systems as well, and go, what we can bring, what joy we can bring to the country is overwhelming, really.
I know it's a lot of the replays and what have you pick up from, the knockdown and the toe in, but in fairness to the goalkeeper, that was some ball at the right time, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, Kelleher was brilliant. I mean, the last couple. He's been brilliant the whole campaign. And then it's obviously it's a bit of a roll of the dice, Greg. If I'm being honest, in the last minute, I've been there myself, and sometimes it comes off, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's a great ball into the box from Kelleher, and then a fantastic flick from Scales as well because if he doesn't get that touch, we don't score. And if you keep an eye on Troy Parrott, his movement, he's the one that gambles. He's the one that thinks that Scales is going to win this header. And if he doesn't gamble early, he doesn't get the touch on the ball to get in the net. So all these things have to fall into place perfectly, and the timing of it as well. If you're going to win a game, the last kick of the game is away from home in Hungary. You've seen there's a very special stadium as well. I think the Champions League final is going to be there. This was no far out rubbish stadium, or with no, the home support was hugely behind the Hungarians, of course, so the character that will give this team as well to go into a big stadium like that, and the belief it'll bring them. So hopefully bodes well for March.
Yeah, the Troy's composure at that time to toe the ball in, but to steer it in under the goalie. I mean, remarkable, so deep into a game to have that presence of mind.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, he scored 5 goals in 2 games, and it's fairy tale stuff, Roy the Rover stuff for him, isn't it? Really, 2 against Portugal and a hat trick. Yesterday was just incredible, and the way he did it as well, Greg. The last kick of the game. I think everyone was behind the sofa or just hands in your head time and thinking, oh, it's the dream is over, but you just see the clips, and even on last night on social media, and people at Dublin Airport, or people in bars and restaurants, people at home, and just how it just unites the country. Like, it's incredible, really, isn't it? So Troy's he's the man of the moment, isn't he? And hopefully he keeps that form going.
And you know what? Listening to the interview afterwards, so human, so normal. If you weren't already delighted for him, just that pure emotion. You'd have to have a heart of stone not to say, well, it couldn't happen to a nicer fella.
I mean, it's amazing because when results weren't going well, people would criticise and go, these guys don't care. That do they know what it's like to play for Ireland, put on that jersey? But if you see all interviews, not just Troy's, but all the lads, how much it means to them, like it's incredible. Yeah. It's a special feeling to pull on that Irish jersey, and long may that continue. And Troy was just fantastic, wasn't he?
And it reminded me of actually a little bit of the Donegal story to some extent, where the lads had to come out and face the press when they weren't playing well, when they were in the doldrums before Jim came back, and they still did it. And then, they went on to bring us some euphoric moments. We don't know who we're going to play in March. It's a little bit convoluted. Are we even sure which pot? We're in 3, but we might be in 2. I think we have to wait to see what Iceland do. And then, obviously, pot 2 would give us home advantage, I think, in the semi, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even. Do you know what? I've not even looked at it.
And do you know what? Can I do you a favour? Don't, because no one knows.
I know, but I'm in my head like we're going to the World Cup now after the weekend. I'm booking the flights. I'm booking the hotels. It's all done and dusted. But what I would mention, Greg, as well, special mention to Seamus Coleman, obviously.
Yes, amazing.
Fellow Donegal man. I mean, what he's done for this group of players, both on the pitch and off the pitch. He's hardly played for Everton all season. And they play 2, full games like that, and the level that he's played at, like, and you speak to any player or staff member that Ireland set up, and he is the heartbeat of the whole thing, So he deserves such a special mention, and still to be going at 30, I think it's 37, maybe doing him a disservice there, but he's getting into his late 30s, and the levels he's still at is very special.
All right, very finally, before I let you go, we're looking forward to you coming home on Friday the 5th of December. You're the guest of honour at the Breast Cancer Ball. It's a wonderful night, Shay. I'm not sure if you've been to it before. It's in the Silver Tassie Hotel, and tickets are still available, actually, so I just thought whilst I have you on for such a good cause, and you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've not been yet, so my sister has been on to me the last couple of years, and the dates have tied in, so I can be there. And I think it's going to be a special night. It really is. I think obviously I'll be there, but also I think it's the doctors and the specialists and the nurses. It's a night to thank them. I know cancers. There's a lot of heartache, and my family's the same, but I think there's a lot of good stories as well, and I think it's a night to celebrate all the good work that people do as well. So if you can come along and support that would be amazing.
And finally, Shay, it's great to see you. We're also proud of you, of how you're progressing post your career as well. And it's great to see on the TV, and you've just fit into it naturally. It's amazing to see.
Well, I think it's the old Donegal banter. If you can get the banter in there and get a few jokes and a few bit of humour, you'll get away with all sorts. You know what I mean, Greg?
All right, Shay. God bless you. Thanks, buddy. Take care. Look after yourself. That's former Republic of Ireland goalkeeper Shay Given there, and he's like the rest of us, and he's honest too, which is, of course, why wouldn't he be? But looking at all the permutations of who we could play, what pot we might be in, but at the end of the day, as far as he's concerned, he's got his flights and his hotels booked for America. All right, listen, great stuff. And just to remind you, by the way, Shay is the special guest at the Breast Cancer Ball at the Silver Tassie Letterkenny. We weren't asked to mention this, but I just thought it would be an opportune time because tickets are flying out the door for that. It's, I'm told, an amazing event, an amazing night. And it's actually really quite affordable, to be provided with so much glitz, glamour and entertainment. And also, even if you don't have a tux, by the way, lads, there's some brilliant companies across the Northwest that hire them out. So you don't even have to worry about that if that's the route you wanted to go down.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
You'd do anything for your child, but if something goes wrong, in school, in a health or social care setting, sometimes it can be hard to find a resolution. If you've made a complaint but the problem is still going on, the Ombudsman for Children's Office may be able to help. We examine complaints about how children are treated in our public services. Fair, free, independent. Visit oco.ie to learn more.
Here at Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville and Bridgend, we stock recliner and fabric suites, dining tables and chairs, beds and mattresses, curtains and rugs, and don't forget our large flooring department stocking carpet, vinyl and laminate flooring. We can't be beaten on price or quality and give a weekly delivery service to Donegal, Derry and Strabane, not to be matched. So call in today to Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville or Bridgend for all your home furnishing needs.
If you need an eye test, look no further than Louis Walsh Opticians. Letterkenny's longest established opticians are delighted to welcome patients new and old to their state-of-the-art practice in the Courtyard Shopping Centre. Their latest technology includes a 3D OCT retinal camera which assesses the health of your eyes in minutes. Private, medical card and PRSI patients welcome. Call 91 21000 to arrange your eye test.
Louis Walsh Opticians, Letterkenny. Your vision, our focus.
There's bingo every Monday night at Halfway House Burnfoot. Doors open at 7:30 with eyes down at 8:30. €2,500 must go. The snowball is now €1,900 on 45 numbers or less. If you're not in, you can't win. That's Halfway House Bingo Burnfoot tonight at 8:30.
Every time you choose public transport, you're playing your part in reducing Ireland's transport emissions. Since 2022, the Connecting Ireland Rural Mobility Plan has introduced over 180 new or enhanced bus routes across the TFI network. 8 million journeys were made along these routes last year, connecting towns and villages near you and supporting communities across Ireland to make sustainable choices. It all adds up. Wherever you're going, your journey counts. Visit gov.ie/your journey counts. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Now, Inishowen seems to get more than its fair share of water outages. The most recent since Friday, there was mechanical issues at Slavery Water Treatment Plant. And I believe, Stephen, that must be the outage that's affecting you. A tough weekend with no water, I imagine.
Yeah, it is, Greg. The problem is that it went off on Friday without a warning or without letting us know. And my water, and where I'm just living past Cockhill, that my water come back on early hours of Saturday morning. But my daughter and my son lives up in Ellen Park, and my daughter lives up towards Ballymcgann, and they've had no water at all since Friday. Now, it's a disgrace at this day and age that they're out since Friday, and they're in a new house, and they've no water at all.
I don't see any information from Uisce Éireann indicating when the problems will be resolved. You know, this is not a burst pipe. This is a mechanical issue. So, unfortunately, I can't sort of say what the story is. I can only imagine, though, what it must be like going through the weekend. Well, I know myself. We've all been through it. But it seems to happen very regularly, Stephen.
It does. It seems to be happening more often now. Like we had a power outage as well here on Friday. The power went off, shops, businesses had to close. And then on top of this, then we had the water outage. Now, it's just not based on one spot. It's different parts of Buncrana. People have been out of water. As I say myself, we've been out from Friday afternoon to late on Saturday morning, where my daughter has been out now on Friday, all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today still. And like the sheriff purposes, kids going to school, filling bottles, even toilet facilities. There's nothing there for them. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, and there's not, like, I did get an email. I should have probably published it because I thought this was being widely distributed. But I note from their from Irish Water's social media that they don't really have a great deal of great much detail. They just say there are problems they're investigating. But as I say, I got an email then to say it was at this Slavery plant. I wonder, was it shorted through that power outage or something along those lines, Stephen?
I'm not sure, Greg. As I say, we're sitting here, we know nothing. They have told us nothing, and we're just sitting waiting and waiting and waiting. And now my water itself today is very, very poor. It's just a trickle, and you're expecting it to go off all the time. If you had forewarning, you could fill up bottles and tanks and you could have them sitting there. But they don't even give you forewarning. You just cut off automatically, like.
Yeah. And apparently there is water available at Buncrana Fire Station, but that's, as you say, that doesn't negate your concerns. Stephen, leave it with me. If I can get any updates, obviously I'll get them out there. I do appreciate it. So just to read that release I got this on Saturday, so I presume there's no update since. This Éireann continues to work to restore normal water supply to homes and businesses in Buncrana following a mechanical issue at Slavery Water Treatment Plant. As a result of these operational issues, customers in Buncrana and surrounding areas may be experiencing low water pressure, as we heard from Stephen, or outages, as we heard from his family. Alternative water supplies are now available in the form of bulk tankers. They're accessible at Buncrana Fire Station, and customers are reminded to use their own containers when taking water from the tankers there. A caller says, what about the water problem in Buncrana all weekend? And when our councillors were asked, each one of them had a different story, and they talk about misinformation and disinformation. They are the kings of it, along with their masters. It's kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, because there's no real onus on councillors to sort of republish the stuff from from Uisce Éireann. Some of them do, but it's a kind of a poison chalice, because you have to do it all of the time then, and you will have to do it all of the time. And then people expect you to have answers, whereas other councillors don't publish this Uisce Éireann stuff, and then there's no spotlight on them. So you're kind of damned if you do, and not really damned if you don't. Hi, Greg. Can you please find out what's happening with the water situation in Buncrana? It's been off all weekend, and other than a couple of hours yesterday, we'll just get an update from Uisce Éireann on that for you categorically. And if anyone from Uisce Éireann is listening, maybe you could send us an update to the update to our emails. A caller says there was a violent incident in Lifford last week, which has been reported in the media. Another thing worth noting is that it took an hour and 45 minutes for the Gardaí to land at the incident. With the seriousness of it, this is not on. A man was attacking someone with a metal bar. How is this okay? It's not okay. I was made aware of that incident pretty much as it was happening, and I contacted the Garda Press office. And they said at that time, we have no information because we're responding to it. There's videos going around of it, all right? Let's not pretend that's not the case. And there's names being bandied about and stuff, right? So the Gardaí then said that when they arrived at the scene, that there was no one there. So there's no one at the scene, and there's no one making reports to the Gardaí as far as we're aware. So in fairness to the Gardaí, it does make it a little bit challenging, I presume, then to pursue it quickly. They have to go through video evidence, etc., etc. So I saw the incident, didn't like looking at it. It seemed very violent. But when the guards arrived, everyone was gone, and the guards continued to investigate. And I would not be surprised if that forms part of the appeals from An Garda Síochána on Community Garda information tomorrow. Now, a large-scale combined Ireland-UK air and sea search off the northwest coast for a missing crew member from a British naval ship ended last night. A UK naval support vessel sent a distress alert near the island of Tory for the missing crew member, last seen on board around 10:30 p.m. on Friday. Joe Joyce is lifeboat operations manager at Lough Swilly RNLI. He joins me now. Joe, thanks very much for your time, Joe.
Good morning, Greg.
So what was your crew's role in this search, Joe?
Well, this was a very, very large search, Greg, a multi-agency search. We got a request for assistance at about 10 o'clock on Saturday morning from the Marine Rescue Centre there in Malin Head. a crewman had gone missing off this Royal Navy auxiliary support vessel. And there was quite a large search area when he was last seen until he went missing. The boat had travelled, the ship had travelled a considerable distance, around about 19 nautical miles, which left a huge area to cover. So 3 lifeboats were launched, Lochswilly, Ardmore and Ballyclass. And in a situation like that, the Marine Centre there in Mallinhead takes over. They have quite sophisticated software. They always look for the last known point, and then they can go back on that then and start looking at tides, what the wind was doing, sea conditions, and try and predict where somebody might be. But given the amount of time that had passed when this crewman had gone overboard, it was really a needle in a haystack. It was a huge effort. Lifeboats joined obviously by some Royal Navy ships, Coast Guard helicopters, the Air Corps fixed wing, and a number of other Royal Air Force.
I mean,
airplanes.
if you take Tory Island out of the equation as a point of location, this is in the vast open sea.
Well, we were 17 nautical miles off Tory, which is really out in the blue, so it's a massive area.
It's stood down
Given
now
then
as
the conditions.
Sorry, Joe. Talk to me about the conditions. I beg
Sorry,
your pardon. Yeah.
Quite difficult conditions too. Big seas. Saturday was quite a windy day, so yeah, it was a really hard task on the crew there. They were out there for 9 hours. Mallinhead give you a box to search, and you literally the boat goes up and down this box a certain distance apart, just looking in the water and seeing if they can see anything or anybody, or trying to identify anything in the water. So it's a huge task.
The search has been stood down. Has it resumed at first light, or is it a case that, with the loss at sea in its location, you sort of go at it initially, but there comes a point then whereby it's the fact that the search area is actually widening, not narrowing? What happens next, Joe?
So we were stood down about 5 o'clock on Saturday when kind of light left us, so we became ineffective at that stage. But they did bring in specialised aircraft and Nimrods then to go over and back the search area again, so there was quite a lot of activity. The Royal Navy boats themselves there had some helicopters, but our own assets then, the infrared cameras and the helicopters wouldn't really work because of the length of time in the sea. So it comes a time when it just becomes, the longer you leave it, the bigger the search area becomes, and it just gets to the point where you just can't go on. So we were stood down on Saturday evening. They continued the search Sunday with their own assets, and I think now the search has been called off.
I note those that responded to this, the Coast Guard, RNLI lifeboats, the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force. These are Irish waters, are they? And perhaps they're international. You can correct me on that. I don't see the Irish Navy. Was the Irish Navy involved in this search at all?
Not to my knowledge. There was no naval presence there. There is I think it's a 12-mile limit, so it'll be international waters.
Okay.
And these waters are, of course, off Donegal, which is kind of the gateway into the Irish Sea, between Donegal and Scotland. So there's an awful lot of traffic out there, a lot of commercial, a lot of military. Given the situation that's going on in the world at the moment, it's quite protected.
But in the past, would we have expected to see the Irish Navy involved in this? I do know they have some resources issues and boats tied up because of staffing and all. I'm not getting into that, Joe. I'm just curious if that's something that needs further looking at. Like, would you have seen historically that the Irish Navy would have been involved in an operation like this?
It depends where they have the assets at that particular time, but we
Okay.
have worked in the past with the Navy.
All right, okay. As I say, it might be something we might make separate inquiries on, because I think it's really they were quite notable in their absence there. Joe, thank you very much for your time. That was a tough call to get, wasn't it? I know you're all volunteers. I know you're all the fourth emergency services, so to speak. I can only imagine what it's like on the back of that boat heading and then going 17 nautical miles past the last piece of Irish land. It's very relieving when your crews get home, I'm sure.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, look after yourself. Thank you very much indeed. A caller says, how was the British Navy allowed to do the search? Why wasn't our own Navy doing it? Well, perhaps unfair to ask Joe, I beg your pardon. The only thing I thought was interesting would be as to why we weren't there. But as you heard Joe reference there, this is international waters, 12 miles beyond. Another asking, why is the British Navy off the coast of Ireland? Well, off the coast of Ireland is international waters, it has to be said as well. Greg, can I give a big shout out to everyone involved in the Christmas lights turn on in Ballybofey, Stranorlar last night? What a day and evening with the Christmas market and McElhenny's window and show at Car Park. It's a long time since I've seen the town buzzing like that, with a fantastic turnout of at least a few thousand people, and weather held out too. Brilliant and well done. That comes in from Patrick Foy. Yes, Patrick, I was watching on, and not from the street, but on the social media, and what a crowd! Absolutely buzzing it was. And that really is it. That's the Christmas season well and truly underway, is it? I think, perhaps, maybe. Right, so just more confirmation from Irish Water, Uisce Éireann, that they are investigating reports of supply disruptions affecting Buncrana and surrounding areas. Crews are working to restore supply as soon as possible. We've got nothing else beyond that, but I do know that hopefully I will send a message to those that message me from Uisce Éireann. They just send press releases, by the way. I don't have any back channel to see if we can get an update on those mechanical issues, if it's that's still causing these problems, and what we can do to accelerate it. Hi, Greg. 25% football would have happened a long time ago. Sorry, 25% football would have happened a long time ago if not pure greed of zoning up. Oh, footfall. I've got football on my mind. My apologies. 25% footfall would have happened a long time ago if not pure greed of zoning of lands up to the former bypass, thus making it unfeasible for TINRA. Guess what? We're back to more bad zoning with the latest housing plan, which shall dish the OPR and in turn the Mahon Tribunal's main recommendations. Okay, thanks for that.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
If you're fitting a new kitchen or replacing some tired appliances, now's the time with the Ben Sweeney Euronics Kitchen Bundle. Get a single oven and hob, integrated dishwasher and fridge freezer, wash machine and tumble dryer, all for just €2,000. Other kitchen bundles are available on request. Call us today or visit Ben Sweeney Euronics, Port Road, Letterkenny, in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
For all you hard workers and multitaskers, those who come to work with big ambitions and bigger ideas, and all you legends of the trade, however you get the job done, there's a Volkswagen commercial vehicle for your business. Choose the new Transporter, Caddy Cargo, Crafter, Amarok, or the all-electric ID Buzz Cargo. Enjoy HB finance from 0% or purchase contributions of up to €2,000. Find the Volkswagen in you with the 261 range. Terms and conditions apply. Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland and subject to lending criteria. Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland Limited is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Visit volkswagenvans.ie for further information.
Order your 261 with Connolly's Volkswagen Commercials, Letterkenny. See connellys.ie.
Us pigeons see everything when we're flapping around up here. Well, almost everything. See, burning certain fuels releases invisible toxic pollutants, which can trigger asthma and lead to serious illness. So, if you're going to light a fire in your home, make sure to use low smoke fuel. Oh, and never wing it burning rubbish.
Choosing low smoke fuel is better for all of us. Let's clear the air for everyone. And remember to clean chimneys and heating appliances at least once a year. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
At Blue Poppy Dentistry and Orthodontics, we're proud to offer expert care in crowns and bridge work through our skilled team, Drs. Tang and Wazik. Whether you need to restore strength, structure, or enhance your smile's appearance, Blue Poppy delivers high quality, tailored solutions that put your comfort and confidence first. Call us on 074 9120 355 or book online at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dentistry and Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town, where your smile finds its strength.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable secret Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at McElhinney's.com today.
It'll be cool and dry for most today with plenty of sunshine and just the odd isolated shower, becoming cloudier in western parts this evening. Temperatures 6 to 9 degrees. Tuesday night into Wednesday, you're going to get very chilly in the north and northwest, and we can expect some sprinkles of wintry weather before it turns mild again, relatively speaking, from Friday. Karen Mullen is director of the Full Network Foundation and has very kindly joined us this morning. Thank you for your time, Karen. How are you keeping?
Good morning, Greg. Keeping good. Thank you for having us on.
No, it's good to have you on. And whilst this is a warning that's coming out of Derry, it's a warning for all of us. It just so happens that you've taken the opportunity to get it out there. And it's warning people to stay alert to harmful money lenders this Christmas. So, I mean, obviously, what is out there that you're warning people against? You know, what cases have you come across or would be familiar with, Karen?
Yes, Greg, as you say, it's not particularly Derry. It's happening right across the island and across the water as well. We have been together as a group, as a steering group, with a number of organisations in the city now for about 2 years. This is ongoing work that we do, Greg. But at Christmas, we tend to see a spike, obviously. It's a really financial pressure for families at Christmas. So that's where we tend to see more people turning to that sort of quick, instant cash, not realising what the interest rate does. And it's taken them many years to pay off for one Christmas.
And are these legal or illegal? Because obviously, you know, you've got these payday lenders and, you know, if you look at the interest rates compared to what you might see for a car loan or something, they're absolutely astronomical. Or are loan sharks still a thing where people sort of go from estate to state or house to house, sending lending cash, but also at incredibly high rates?
Yes, both illegal and illegal. I would actually say some of the legal ones should be illegal, as you talked about there, the high interest rates. How they're getting away with it is shocking. But yes, there still is people operating within communities, lending money. And as I say, I would be aware that it's happening right across, and I'm sure it's in Donegal.
Yeah, and we have this situation too that these are going to be people who are most in need, people that are, you know, the least resourced, and they're trying to make Christmas for lots of different reasons, and some obvious ones, of course. But this is money that has to be paid back, and quite a bit of money on top of that, and, you know, can make for a very difficult January, February, March and beyond.
Yeah, this is people who are maybe not working in low-paid jobs, or maybe have experienced a debt in the past, who can't go to reputable lenders, maybe like ourselves, such as banks and building societies, and turn to these type of lenders who then prey on people in this situation because they know they've nowhere else to go. But the message we're getting across here, Greg, is I suppose this isn't only at Christmas because people turn to these people throughout the year, is that there is good reputable lenders there for people who are on the lower incomes, such as our credit unions. And I know in Donegal, you have great credit unions, just like us here in Derry. Our credit unions are part of our steering group, and we are trying to get the message out there around saving throughout the year. You can access smaller loans from them. So our credit unions here will give small loans, £50 to £100. You know, if your child needs a pair of shoes, or if you need oil fill, you know, come and speak to them. And also we have great advice services both here in Derry and Donegal, and we would say reach out to them for advice beforehand as well.
Yeah, and I'm not saying exclusively, but, you know, for this Christmas, I know it might be difficult for people listening because they might say, that's all well and good, but I can't go into a credit union or another lending organisation because of my credit record or this, that and that. I think a good bit of advice is actually not to be waiting until the panic hits, you know, and start an all year round kind of a budgeting situation. As you say, it's not exclusive to Christmas, but we're speaking now because we do see a peak at this time of year. So it's trying to sort of, you know, get through this Christmas, but maybe even be planning for 2026 so you don't find yourself in this cycle again, Karen.
That's right. What we do here, Greg, as I say, it's throughout the year. We have a savings scheme we have 3 credit unions in the city. So wherever you live and wherever's your closest. So members who access our food bank service will save all year round with the credit union. So we're trying to get upstream. We all need to plan and save for life events such as Christmas and holidays, no matter really what your budget is. And we all at times all will need credit for different things. So it is getting that message out there, don't leave it to the last minute and plan in advance as best you can. Our credit unions allow a small amount of small amount of savings, so it really, really helps people. And that small amount then they will give a loan on the back of it. And the union movement is very good and very supportive. Here in the north, we would have a lot of information online through Consumer Council and others. So I'd say in our advice services, reach out to them or any organisations similar to yourselves in Donegal. What we have done, Greg, is we have been able to, I suppose, we're there to support the person. We want to get upstream as much as possible. But when we're finding people in these situations, we have been able to work along with our credit unions and others and get people out of, particularly the illegal doorstop lenders. We've been able to support people to get them paid off. And it is, the message is starting to go through. As I say, we do it all year round. But the lead up to Christmas, we raise more awareness.
Yeah, and I suppose too, a lot of this at this time of year is driven by, trying to match expectations, and, maybe we need to sort of work on that a little bit and understand that sometimes, all expectations can't be met, and that's the reality of it, and you have to think of the long game as well.
That's it. Part of our campaign is responsible lending, responsible spending. So it's putting the onus on the person as well. It's not just the person, the lenders. We can all get caught up, and we do want to have a good Christmas, and we want to ensure our children has. But we see people here, Greg, and they're still paying off a Christmas from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? They've moved on from that, and there's a lot of other support out there. So I would say, please don't put yourself under pressure. Try and do what's manageable. I know we all take out a wee bit, but do what's manageable that you'll have paid off in a short time.
And find out precisely how much you'd be expected to pay back as well, because it can look very attractive, but you get deep into the small print and it becomes very unattractive all of a sudden, and then next thing you know, you can't borrow off anyone potentially. Okay, listen, thanks for that advice, Karen. Look after yourself.
Thank you, Greg.
Bye-bye. Take care. Karen Mullen, Director of the Full Network Foundation. As I say, they're leading out in this information at this point, but it applies to everyone right across the region and beyond. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation, and you see some of the expectation and you think, are you having a laugh? So you can imagine the lifespan of something, and still to be paying for it 3 years later. You have to be really careful. We try our best, but sometimes we have to say, well, is this the right thing to do? Let me see. What time is it? Do I have time for that? No, it's quite a long one, so I'll come back to that. It's a person with issues with car insurance. Hi, Greg. There is a large car park at the back of the retail park at TK Maxx. On the other side of the River Swilly's the new proposed municipal graveyard. Option 1, car park and proposed extension to graveyard side with a pedestrian footbridge linking both sides. Option 2, car and pedestrian bridge over the Swilly linking both sides. Both options will take a lot of cars off the 4-lane road, as can access main retail area of the town via Leck Road. The exit Letterkenny via same bridge to Leck or Lismonaghan or Ran, taking traffic off the Pierce Road. That comes in from Eddie, who's put a bit of thought into it. Thank you. Appreciate it. What do you think? 086 60 25,000. I think the chances of changing any plans now at this point, even if they seem to make a great deal of sense, are slim. Just to remind you that if there's anything you think we should be talking about, anything happened up your way over the weekend, any good news, positive stuff to pass on as well, we love it all. WhatsApps and texts to 086 60 25,000 or give us a call on 07491 25,000. Back with more after the news and obituary notices.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Every year, about 2,500 people in Ireland get bowel cancer. Bowel screening helps to reduce your risk of developing it. If you're aged 58 to 70, register for a free bowel screen test kit. Once you've done the test at home, return it by free post and we'll test your sample. If you need follow-up tests, we'll let you know. Register today at bowelscreen.ie or free phone 1-800 45 45 55 from the HSE.
Dog lovers will tell you that the sight of a waggly tail causes their heart to melt. That's why the Waggly Tail team at Burns Pet Nutrition developed wet dog food. It's gently cooked by dog lovers using responsibly sourced ingredients. Wholesome, hypoallergenic, and made using a single protein source. With tasty varieties, even the most fussy and sensitive dogs will get their tails wagging for Burns. Available in veterinary clinics and all good pet stores across Ireland.
This Christmas, create magical family moments with the Jackson's Hotel Santa Experience in Ballybuffet. Enjoy an overnight stay with festive goodies, a movie night with elves, an in-house Santa grotto, plus tickets to the Santa Express train at Oakfield Park, complete with a special gift. Make memories that last a lifetime. Visit jacksonshotel.ie for details.
'Twas Christmas, and Puss asked his magical mirror on the wall,
"Where will I find beauty gifts that top them all?"
"Oh, Puss, why in Boots, of course," replied the mirror. Puss found the shelves brimming with magical fragrances, beauty must-haves, and the latest skincare. But oh, what to choose? Well, thanks to a Boots advisor on hand, or Paul, Puss left with the most perfect gifts. Shop in store today or visit boots.ie and gift happily ever after. Boots.
McGowan Hearing, one of the longest established audiologists in the Northwest, now have weekly clinics in Letterkenny, Buncrana and Carndonagh. Book your free hearing aid consultation at one of these clinics or with audiologist Darren McGowan in your own home. Call 07191 00208 or visit mcgowanhearing.com.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good evening, it's Donna Marie Doherty with the news at 10 o'clock. There is a sense of grief across the northeast after 5 young people lost their lives in a crash on Saturday night. Local priests have been paying tribute to the 3 men and 2 women in their early 20s. Barry White has more from County Louth.
An investigation is continuing today into the circumstances of the crash in which 5 young friends lost their lives. The 2 vehicles have been taken from the scene and it is expected that post-mortem examinations will be carried out over the coming days. Meanwhile, several communities in the northeast are grieving. Father Finian Connaughton is a parish priest in Drumconrath in County Meath. He knows some of those who died.
Our community here, absolutely, it's beyond description. The sense of grief that's around,
The 5 young people who died in County Louth were part of a close-knit group of friends. Another friend, a man in his 20s, who was also travelling in the Volkswagen Golf, was taken to hospital in Drogheda with non-life-threatening injuries. Barry White in County Louth.
Donegal County Council is considering the installation of traffic calming measures at Rosnakill and Fanad. The issue was raised at an MD meeting by Councillor Liam Blaney, who told Letterkenny Milford Municipal District that the area is becoming increasingly dangerous. Officials have said a speed survey can be arranged to assess the current issues at this location, with a full assessment of what needs to be done and how it can be funded to take place when resources are available. Councillor Blaney says that local people want to see action taken.
Anything that slows down the traffic, it's not just me, and I'm from the village, but it is the local people that are looking for it, and that's what they want and see, a danger to children and to even vehicles and to anybody that would be coming in the opposite direction when these heavy vehicles go through and go through at serious speed. And I think if they could narrow the road down on the northern side and put on traffic calming measure there, and maybe we'll see how it works out, but maybe it's going to have to put a ramp on it.
Police in Derry made 2 drug-related arrests on Saturday. Both men were detected in the Ringford Road area. Alan Cantwell reports.
A 22-year-old man was arrested after a stop and search uncovered suspected Class B drugs. He was detained on suspicion of possessing and being concerned with the supply of a Class B controlled drug, as well as driving without insurance or a licence. 2 mobile phones suspected cannabis in the vehicle were seized, while another phone and suspected Class B edibles were recovered during a follow-up search of his home. He was later released on bail pending further inquiries. At around 8:40 p.m, officers on mobile patrol became concerned about the driver of a grey Range Rover on Irish Street. They attempted to stop it on Dungiven Road. The vehicle slowed at traffic lights but continued before stopping at Glendermont Road. The driver smelled strongly of cannabis and partially used drugs were found. A positive roadside drug test led to the 57-year-old man being arrested on suspicion of possession of a Class B drug and driving while unfit through drink or drugs.
Crashes could close indefinitely until the government meets their demands in the ongoing row over funding. That's the warning from the Federation of Early Childhood Providers, who say owners are struggling to keep services going amid rising business costs. It comes as new figures show 151 crashes have withdrawn from the government scheme, saying it's not fit for purpose. Elaine Dunn, chair of the organisation, says the current funding isn't enough.
We've always said it, the funding doesn't meet the cost base for the businesses. And when your margins are being cut back and cut back and cut back all the time by the Department of Children, then you can't keep high quality services open. And we held our first meeting last Tuesday night and we spoke with one provider, 3 small services in rural Ireland, Etche service only, and she's only open since September and she's €52,000 in debt.
The Transport Minister says vulnerable countries are staying central to discussions as the COP summit continues today. Darragh O'Brien says many countries are looking for stronger support as the talks move forward. He says Ireland is well placed to advocate for those already experiencing the worst effects of climate change. Minister O'Brien says many of these countries are bearing the brunt of the crisis that they did little to cause.
We want to speak up for the small developing states as well, those who are at the front line of climate change, who are least responsible for it but are actually bearing the brunt of climate change. And Ireland, I think, is in a unique enough position on that as an island state, a small country, to speak on behalf of other countries.
Looking now to weather, it will be cool and dry for most of today with plenty of sunshine and just the odd isolated light shower. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with headlines at 11 o'clock. The obituary notices this Monday morning, November 17th. The death has occurred of Oisín McManus of Poison Glen, Dunlewy. His remains will repose at Letterkenny Funeral Home from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. Requiem Mass on Wednesday at 11 o'clock in St Eunan's Cathedral, with burial afterwards in Newlex Cemetery. Donations in lieu of flowers to Aris Glidor or the Huntington's Disease Association of Ireland, care of any family member. House private. The death has taken place of Junie Margaret McGonigal, Caro Ria Carndonna. Junie's remains will leave Kelly's Funeral Home, Station Road, Carndonna at 5 o'clock today, going to her late residence. Removal from there on Wednesday at 10:30 to the Church of the Sacred Heart, Carndonna, for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Requiem Mass can be viewed live on the parish webcam. Family time please from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. Family flowers only please. Donations in lieu if desired to Letterkenny University Hospital, Patients Comfort Fund, care of any family member or Blaine McCarran, Kelly's funeral directors. The death has taken place of Antoinette McClay, née O'Hagan, to Tamsworth Grove Strabane and formerly of Carlton Drive Strabane, reposing at her daughter Nicola McClay's home, 59 Carlton Drive Strabane, from 12 noon today. Funeral leaving her daughter's home on Wednesday at 9:30, for Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church Melmount at 10 o'clock. Interment afterwards in St Patrick's Cemetery, Murlog, Lifford. Family time please from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. and on the morning of the funeral. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish webcam. The death has occurred in Coventry, England on the 23rd of October of Sal Colgan ní McCool, formerly of Kennedary Welchtown, Ballybuffet. Funeral will take place on Wednesday at 11:15 in All Souls Church, Kingsland Avenue, Coventry. Burial at Lentons Lane Cemetery in the family plot. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live on the parish webcam. The death has taken place of John Ian Borland, 27, Kilnappy Road, Campsie. Remains are reposing at W.J. O'Brien and Sons Funeral Home, 110 Cluny Road, Eglinton, today from 2 p.m. until 3 p.m. and from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Funeral service will take place there tomorrow at 12 noon. Interment afterwards in Ballyone Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if wished to the Foyle Hospice, 61 Coolmore Road. The death has taken place of Rita Colhoun, nee McLaughlin, White Paddy, Killane Mallon. Rita's remains are reposing at her home with a one-way system in operation, entering via Back Mountain Road and exiting via Lag Road. Funeral from there tomorrow at 12:15 for 1 o'clock Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Clay, followed by interment in St Mary's Church, Lag Cemetery. Requiem Mass can be viewed live on Eamon McLaughlin Funerals Director Facebook page. Family time from 10 o'clock tonight and before the funeral tomorrow. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desire to Ard Avon Dementia Unit Carndonagh Community Hospital or the Irish Cancer Society, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Veronica Smith, nee McColgan, 283 Listnara Road, Donamana, and formerly of Douglas Bridge, reposing at her home. Funeral leaving there tomorrow at 10:25 for Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church, Brack at 11 a.m. Interment afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Donations in lieu of flowers, please, to Donaghedy Parish Building Fund, care of Quigley's Funeral Directors, Newton Place, Strabane. Family time, please, from 10 o'clock tonight and before the funeral tomorrow. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish YouTube channel. The death has taken place of Daniel Duffy, Loch Road, Milford. Requiem Mass in St Peter's Church, Milford at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, followed by interment in Milford Cemetery. No wake and the house is private at the request of Daniel. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Dazzle your guests this Christmas with Aldi's specially selected range. Discover amazing appetizers like flavoured smoked salmon, seasonal spectaculars like Bord Bia quality assured slow-cooked Irish silverside ham, just $19.99, in store December 5th. And dreamy desserts like the ultimate melting baubles, indulgent chocolate with a salted caramel pouring sauce, in store December 19th. If you love Christmas, you love Aldi specially selected, while stocks last.
You're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. Coming up after we get today's bingo numbers, we will have Minister Dara Cleary on. Now, Minister Cleary is the Minister for Social Protection, Rural Community Development and the Gaeltacht. The Pension Auto Enrolment Scheme is due to launch in January 2026. It's called My Future Fund. Now, maybe you are an employee with some questions in relation to it, or maybe you are an employer. Get them into us, 086 60 25,000. We'll be talking through with the Minister exactly what the scheme is, its level of compulsion, etc., etc. I firmly believe, says the listener, that people who are on social welfare should be given or should not be given any form of loan. If the government is giving them assistance to live, how can they repay a loan? I mean, any loan that anyone receives should be in line with their ability to pay, but you know, certainly these money loan sharks, or even in fact these payday money lenders, they don't really care. But then again, you know, people do need access to emergency money at times. So I think I know where you're coming from. But hi, Greg. I'm hoping you can put this out there. This is actually an interesting one. I'll come back to that and play that just before the break. Ireland's west coast is 200 miles out. It's not international waters. 6 Navy vessels were involved. The Irish Navy were present. The James Bernard Shaw was present. Thanks for that. Okay, wasn't aware. I didn't see reference to that. Thank you for the clarification. My daughter has a medical condition and is now in Letterkenny University Hospital over this problem. No warning who is responsible. Somebody has to walk for the mess. My daughter had to push her catheter out every day as she couldn't wash it out. She's now in hospital with an infection. The water is still not back today. The counsellors are all giving us different updates. Yeah, there does seem to be some different updates out there. I wonder, are there multiple problems? I must check there's reference numbers. I must check the reference numbers and see do they. I certainly don't want to contribute to that. Right. Okay. So is your name? Let me see. What's your name? Siobhan. And were you married in 2017? Well, it's very possible that you were in the Ballybofey, Stranola area on the weekend, because a young lad found a wedding ring in the park in Stranola on Saturday. Now, the wedding band has the name Siobhan on it, and the date is 2017. So I'm presuming that's the date, the year, Siobhan got married. Now, hopefully she didn't take it off and fling it, and maybe doesn't want it found, but I presume she does. So this is one of those things, you've lost it, right? We know where it is. So if your name is Siobhan and you lost your ring, it's a wedding band and has your name on it and the year 2017, please get in touch with us and we'll pass the number on for the person that has it, because a young lad, he could have been 50, I don't know what age he is, but anyway, a young fella, I'm going to presume, found it and they have it and they want to get it back to you. 086 60 25,000 if that's yours, and we can reconnect you with it. Right, let's take this break, and then, as I say, Minister Dara O'Leary will be talking about My Future Fund. That's coming up next.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Monday the 17th of November. You're playing on the green sheet for the daily prize of €1,000. The reference number is S11. It's game number 47. The numbers are 64, 81, 38, 80, 21, 22, 33, 1, 14, and finally 30. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
It's the Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
Looking for a getaway this winter? Whether it's winter sun, a city break, Christmas markets, or hitting the ski slopes, Belfast International Airport has you covered. Check out our exciting winter schedule and start planning your next adventure. And don't forget, pre-book your car parking and save at belfastairport.com.
True luxury is best experienced firsthand. So, experience it for yourself today at Lexus Letterkenny. From the thrilling NX to the all-electric RZ, both available with a €2,000 bonus once registered before January 31st. Enjoy everyday extraordinary with the compact LBX or the spacious RX for ultimate comfort, with flexible payment options available across the range. Luxury begins with L at Lexus Letterkenny Port Road. Lexus. Experience amazing. Terms and conditions apply.
A public interest message from Donegal County Council and Donegal Road Safety Working Group. As evenings get darker, it's more important than ever to stay visible on the roads. Whether you're walking, cycling or driving, remember that wearing a fluorescent and reflective clothing enables you to be seen, and drivers using dipped headlights can help keep everyone safe. Increased visibility makes the road safer for all road users. Be bright, be seen, be safe.
Today's 9 till Noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Now you're welcome back to the programme, and we're joined on it now by Minister Dara O'Leary, who's Minister for Social Protection, Rural and Community Development and the Gaeltacht. Good morning to you, Minister. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, we are on the brink of the My Future Fund being launched, and it feels like we've been talking about this for a long time, Minister.
Yeah, Greg, we've been talking about it for nearly 20 years. We're the last country in the OECD to introduce what's known as auto-enrollment. My Future Fund will be the brand name for it. And basically, Greg, what it is that there are about 750,000 people in the country including, we estimate, around 19,000 in Donegal who have no pension provision for when they finish work. That would mean that they will be entirely dependent on the state contributory pension or on the non-contributory. But the state contributory pension is about 16,000 euro a year. And the average industrial wage at the moment is between 45 and 46,000. So that's one big drop that people would potentially have to take if they've no pension provision. So by introducing auto enrollment, we're going to make that drop, that change from working into retirement a lot easier for those 750,000 people. It begins on the 1st of January, and it's actually going to be driven and headquartered out of Letterkenny. My Future Fund is being based through NERSA, the National Auto Enrollment Retirement Savings Authority. They will be headquartered in Letterkenny, and our partners, Tata Consulting, are also based out in Letterkenny. So an awful lot of people in Letterkenny are working very hard on this project as we speak, and I want to thank all of them for their work.
Of course, sorry, Minister. Just in relation to that, obviously, the launch is very near to hand. Is the software ready to go? The back end, the supports for enrollees, SMEs, bigger companies, etc. Is that all ready to go?
Yes, I being assured that everything is ready. It's being all that back office work has been done from TCS and Letterkenny. Our team in the Department of Social Protection have been working incredibly hard, liaising with the TCS team. We've established NERSA, and they're going to take over the running of My Future Fund. They will be independent. They'll be independent of government, and they'll have the day-to-day running of it in connection with TCS. NERSA, as I said, are going to be headquartered in Letterkenny. So the first big event, Greg, will be in December. In the first week of December, the My Future Fund app will go live for employers. So what we want to do, and we've been dealing and talking a lot to employers on this since 2018, since we started doing the consultation. They want to make it as administratively simple as possible. And through the work with NERSA, we're going to do that. So from the 1st of December, employers will have to register their details on the employers portal on My Future Fund. Those details will be connected with revenue, and they then will enable the deductions to begin and the contributions. So basically, for every €3 an employee pays in, an employer pays €1, and pays €3, and the government pays €1. So as an employee, Greg, somebody who's giving €3 gets €7 to go into their retirement fund. It's a pretty good offer. Employers are making a big contribution. I acknowledge that. But a focus for me is to make it as administratively as easy as possible. There are inevitably be teething problems, and I'm going to be working through those with people, and we'll have a two-way conversation around that over the coming days and weeks.
But what about those in employers that are, in certain areas of business or what have you, and margins are already, really quite tight? Even with a medium-sized workforce, this could be, a huge extra burden on them, as well as everything else, the input costs, electricity costs, minimum wage increases, etc. So what if this is the tipping point for certain businesses? We don't want to see that.
No, we don't want to see that, and that's why we're introducing it in a very much a phased way, Greg. For the first 3 years, the employer contribution and the employee contribution will be 1.5% of gross pay. That then would increase to 3 between years 4 and 6, to 4.5 after that, and up to 6. So I'm phasing that in deliberately, starting small. As I said, we've been dealing with this and planning for this since 2018, and especially over the course since the legislation was passed. Over the last 2 years or so, there's been a lot of notice that this was coming on board. It was due to begin in September. I put it back to January so that we could align it with the tax year to reduce the administration costs and the administration uncertainty. And also, we do have to look and care for employees post-retirement. And if the more income they have, the more money they will have to spend in local economies. So there is a long-term gain for this, for business as well, because they will have customers with more financial security in retirement. And that's something that we all need.
I mean, it has been, to an extent, I think, cleverly designed in that I believe you can opt out after 6 months. I presume the idea being that after the 6 months, people might say, right, I can absorb this and potentially then see the benefit of this down the line. So it normalizes it rather than, you know, that big bad P word that some people might see as in terms of their current expenditure.
Yes, that's a pretty fair explanation of things. Look, I know people are under pressure. I know incomes are under pressure and bills are very big. But equally, what I'm also looking to is your retirement. Is that, if you take a drop on income of up to 30, 40, 50,000 euro, that pressure will continue in retirement. I don't want that for people. People are working hard enough, and they need to be able to have a comfortable retirement. So that's the first thing. And secondly, there will be times in life, where you have the chance to opt out, but you're automatically re-enrolled after 2 years. So we've tried to make it flexible for employees as well. But ultimately, it is difficult at the moment. I've absolutely know that. No, I get that totally. But equally, what we're trying to do is look to a future and look to making that future a little bit easier. My future fund isn't going to answer everybody's post-retirement challenges, Greg, and I think I need to be very clear on that. But our international experience shows that it goes a long way to doing that. Because we are so late in introducing it, as I said, the last country in the OECD, we've been able to look at what has worked really well in other countries, learn what has worked well, but also learn what hasn't worked.
And what happens in other countries, Dara? Is it that, people enroll in the auto-enrollment scheme and then maybe transition to a private scheme? They start understanding pensions and shop around a little bit, or maybe move? Or do you find, or have we found that people who are auto-enrolled in this type of scheme tend to stick with it?
So the general experience is that they stick with it. Where the schemes are badly designed, Greg, people have suspended contributions, and we've looked at that to understand why. And what we've done here is, when you're the investment people behind this will give you a range of options in terms of how your money is invested. It can go to high risk, it can go to medium risk, it can go to low risk. Generally, as people get older, they tend to migrate towards low risk investments. But if you look just to somebody on 35,000 euro a year, they'll be paying 10 euro a week. And depending on what age they join the scheme, they will have a potentially very healthy retirement fund. That's potentially 5,000 euro a year put into the fund. Then that gets interest in terms of the investment portfolio. And also, Greg, we will, as time goes on, NIRSA will be looking at how to make it more attractive and more convenient for people to put extra money in if they come on extra money at any point in their life, that there will be options. But that will be a matter ultimately for NIRSA down the line.
Just a few questions, but the basics first. Who is enrolled in this? How many hours a week do you have to work? What age do you have to be? What does your income, what's the income need to be?
It's anybody between the ages of 23 and 60. It's anybody who's earning more than 20,000 euro a year. And that could be, Greg, across multiple employment. So you could have people with 2, 3 or 4 jobs earning that. They will be enrolled.
But there is a problem that that's not
doesn't already have a pension.
Yeah, well,
it's important.
Yeah, what I was going to say there is because I've been contacted by people who have 2 to 3 jobs. They have a private pension with one employee, but aren't enrolled into this because of that private pension with the one employee. So they're not getting the full bang for the buck.
So if they have a private pension already, they're getting tax relief on that pension. If that a private pension isn't connected to their business, they can't get involved. But it isn't connected to their employer, rather. But if it is, sorry, my apologies. If that private pension is connected to their employer, they can't get involved. But if it isn't, they will be, and they will be automatically enrolled. What we're doing here is if you do not have a pension through your payroll, that's paid for through your payroll, and that's where we're getting the figure of about 750,000 people. So just to reiterate, if you're between 23 and 60, if you're earning more than 20,000 a year, and if you do not have a pension that's already linked to your payroll, you will be automatically enrolled from the 1st of January.
So a caller says, I'm already paying a pension via PRSA. Am I exempt from this scheme?
If it's not connected to your employer or to your work, you will be included in the scheme.
So will the USC be cancelled for the employers who have to pay into this as well, asks another listener.
No, the USC is applicable to salary. The employer contribution is based on gross pay. So that's the design of the scheme.
Let me see. The pension payment will be taken after tax from salaries, and you'll get taxed when receiving it. So it's a double tax. That's not as good as a private pension.
So no, it's based on gross pay, Greg. So the contribution, the 1.5%, is based on gross pay.
I think the bottom line here is and I'll talk about me personally because it might be easier to do that. The reality is if I get to retirement age, there will be a massive cliff edge because I've made no provision by way of a pension. There has to be some system to try and close that gap. I'm not saying this is perfect or what have you, and I know there can be quite a bit of cynicism in it, but I think the thinking behind it is sound in that, we need to bridge the gap between our working income and our pension income. And I know people might say, well, what's the PRSI for if we have to do this, that, and that? But this is where we're at the moment. It might not be a sexy thing, but there are people like me that if I'm not going to voluntarily close this gap, that I need to be sort of kicked up the arse to do it.
Well, look, there's lots of reasons people don't do it. They're under pressure. There's never a good time to do this. Equally, look, pensions are confusing, and I've always made that point. None of us like to talk about it. There's also the overall issue, Greg. At the moment, we have 4 workers in the country for every 2 people. We've 4 workers for every person over the age of 65. We're going to have 2 by the time of 2050. The state pension will continue to be the bedrock of our pension system. I want to be absolutely certain on that and give people assurances on that. But as I said, that's around 16,500 a year based on January 26 rates. So, I think you've captured pretty well there. That is a big cliff edge for any person to take from their daily working wage. My future fund will go part of the way. It's a cushion towards that cliff edge. And if we can begin to address all our personal challenges in terms of retirement income, then we'll also address the national challenge collectively.
One final question here. Obviously, if someone pays in for this 5, 10, 15 years and very sadly they pass away, what happens to their contribution?
That's the important thing about this, Greg. This is your money. So this is Greg's money. This will be Dara's money. So that then becomes, in that unfortunate situation, that becomes part of your estate. And it will be distributed accordingly.
Is there any guaranteed return on this? I mean, pensions is about sort of gathering up the money and investing it, isn't it? And there's various levels of risk you can take. Some people split it and all that type of stuff. So this caller says, I paid into a private pension about 15 years ago. It was all lost, so I stopped paying into it. What guarantees, if any, will we have of a return on this one?
So at this point, it's too early to say that. But we have 3 of the leading investment providers in the world tendered to give us the investment part of my future fund. That's Irish Life, Amundi and BlackRock. They then will be putting the various options together. And exactly, Greg, as you just said there, the options can be defined as high risk, medium risk and low risk. And as people go further on and get older, they can move from high to medium, from medium to low. They can begin where they want to make that call themselves. Because just to reiterate the point, this isn't going to be government money. It's not going to be state money. You will be able to, on the My Future Fund app, there'll be an app that has your details. So Greg will have an app on My Future Fund. You will be able to see where your money is going. You will be able to see how it's being invested. You will be able to see how it is growing. And then you have the that information will be very visible to you, will be very accessible to you, and you'll be able to make changes to make sure you're getting the best return possible that's suited to your stage in life.
And just finally, because there was some confusion even in the office here, this is auto-enrollment. After a certain amount of time, you can opt out and you will receive your money back, but you will again be auto-enrolled every couple of years. Just clarify that for me.
Yes, you can opt out, and you receive your own contributions back. The rest of the pot, your employer's contributions and the government contribution, are left there for you, and then you're opted back in. You're after 2 years again, because it is important that we try and get people into the habit of saving. That we try and ensure that people appreciate the challenges they're going to face. This isn't going to be the absolute solution of all solutions, but it's going to be a very, very strong cushion. And I think My Future Fund is going to be very, very important part of people's retirement. I wanted to become as easy for people to understand as possible, Greg, and that is why the app is going to be important. But we'll also, and as Nearsa bed in, they'll also be making provision for people who are not IT, who don't have access to IT as well.
Very finally, what about the self-employed? Often they can feel left behind, although there has been some improvement in it in relation to, sick pay or whatever it might be. Not sick pay, but sick benefits and things like that. What about the self-employed? We've got a lot of, one or two operators in and around this region, like anywhere else in the country.
So as we open it and as we launch My Future Fund, the self-employed aren't immediately going to be part of it. Our focus is on those 750,000 workers initially. But in time, as My Future Fund expands, and the experience, Greg, in countries around the world is that a product is put in place for people who are self-employed. And I'm very conscious, and I'm very much with you on that one, that we need to look after the self-employed more. We need to, the 1 and 2 and 3 person operation needs to get more support. Ultimately, that will be a matter for Nearsa. But that's certainly something, as Minister for Social Protection, I want to increase the supports for self-employed, and one of those will be working to ensure that we get access for self-employed to My Future Fund.
All right, thanks for your time this morning. I do appreciate it. That's Minister Dara O'Leary, Minister for Social Protection, Rural and Community Development, and the Gaeltacht. I'm still sort of trying to get my head around all of that. I do know, though, that many of us, and I count myself among them, really don't have a plan. And if this gets us thinking or talking about it, maybe it's a good thing. That being said, I do wonder how much more can small businesses take facing into this expense as well, on top of everything else. We've had extended sick entitlements, maternity, paternity, minimum wage, and if the truth be told, this is kind of what some might see as a sexy scheme from the government, but it is the employer and the worker that are stumping up the €6. Let's use that as an example. And it's the state then that would be topping up that by 1. So interested in hearing more of the views of you, the employers out there as well. Obviously, it's positive that Tata Consultancy Services is administrating it. It's being handled out of the offices in Letterkenny. So a great deal of employment there.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Your vaccines give your immune system the top-up it needs to help protect you from serious illness. A flu vaccine is recommended if you're 60 or over, a healthcare worker, pregnant, or have a long-term health condition. A COVID-19 vaccine is also recommended if you're 60 or over or have a long-term health condition. Add a vaccine to your to-do list and help protect you and your family in the months ahead. Talk to a participating GP or pharmacist or visit hsc.ie for more. From the HSC.
Visit Letterkenny for great shopping, food and entertainment. From family trips to big nights out, there's always something happening in Letterkenny. Brought to you by Shop LK.
At ESB, we're committed to communities, and through our Energy for Generations Fund, we're helping organisations like Spree Agus Sport in County Donegal to provide access to STEM education opportunities for young people.
By giving everybody equal opportunities, regardless of their background, we bring the community together.
Every year in Ireland, we contribute over €2 million to community projects. Because it's not just for us, it's for future us. Learn more at esb.ie/communities.
If you're ready to make the switch to electric, hybrid or plug-in hybrids, pop into Divers Hyundai's open sales event from Thursday the 20th to Saturday the 22nd of November and discover the smarter, cleaner and more efficient way to drive into 2026. The team will be on hand to guide you through all the benefits, from lower running costs to cutting-edge technology and greener driving. So if you're curious about charging, range, or the latest 261 registration offers, don't miss the open sales event November the 20th to 22nd at Divers Hyundai, Canal Road, Letterkenny.
Low ticket warning, don't miss the big Highland Bingo Party coming to the Villa Rose Hotel, Balbuffet, Saturday 29th of November. Join Keith Fletcher, Lee Gooch and Marty Friel for a night of festive tunes, crazy bingo, daft games and €1,000 cash up for grabs. Tickets are nearly sold out. Get yours now on Eventbrite or highlandradio.com.
Vincent Cranley is the Vacant Homes Officer, Community Development and Planning Services with Donegal County Council. Thanks for calling in to us. How are you getting on?
Very good, Greg. Thanks for having me.
You've one of the easier jobs in the council, not in terms of the amount of work you do, right? But in terms of coming on the media and chatting about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know, it is a fantastic scheme and I'm very fortunate to be part of that section delivering it. We have a great team there in place.
There's been a huge uptake in Donegal, hasn't there? I was saying, I've often said this, it must be one of the greatest contributors to bringing, houses back into use.
Absolutely. I think it's actually now been recognised as one of the main contributors in doing that. We have, as you rightly say, we've had a massive uptake in Donegal. We have over 1,400 applications. And the great thing now is, you're actually starting to see the fruits of that on the ground with about 360 houses now complete and back into use and people living in those houses again. So, that's the win at the end of it.
And because of you and your team, you have been... you're very hands-on, so the money comes when the money needs to come, if you know what I mean. It's not like, sometimes these things can be very arduous, but I think you're trying to keep it working as to its optimum.
Absolutely. And my boss, Patricia McIntyre, that was her focus from the outset, that we engage very much with the public on this. We assist them every way we can to get them through the process, as timely a fashion as possible. But also on the flip side of that, because it is a receipts-based scheme, we know they have outlaid the money and we're keen to get it back to them again as quickly as we can.
Where do we stand in the country? Are we top of the table? We can't be too far off it.
Top of the table still currently, have been for a while now. There's 2 or 3 counties, ourselves, Cork County and Mayo, are all featuring very highly, but at the minute we're still top of the pile. Anyway,
Good
so
stuff, keep it
happy
at
to
it.
be there.
And but this is only part of the work that you do, and I know there are a series of sessions coming up right across the county to talk about the various initiatives and funds that are available to assist people in terms of housing. So we've talked about the vacant / derelict property grant. Okay, that catches what we've just been talking about. What other supports are there?
So this really spurned from, we would have held a number of events over the last couple of years, 52 in total, to promote solely the vacant property grant. But then we fielded a lot of questions from the public coming to those, looking for more information on the different schemes and initiatives that are out there. So a decision was taken at senior management level, in fairness, in the council, to maybe portray more of what is available to people. Anybody can walk into their public service centre and get this information at a desk, but it's not known to maybe everybody out there what is available. So the idea here really was to have representatives there from the housing section, the planning section, the waste and environment section. Also we have the Northwest Energy Agency, so they'll come and talk about the SEA grants. So it really is an umbrella approach to publicise what supports are there for people.
And the supports are quite broad, to the point whereby if it's not you directly, it may well be someone close to you, because we've talked there about the vacant home grants, but there's adapted homes for people with mobility needs, improving homes for older people, and improving the energy efficiency of homes. So there's lots in there, isn't there? The grants that I'm actually talking about are the Vacant Property Refurbishment Grant Scheme, Housing Aid for Older People Grant, Housing Adaptation Grant for Disabled People, Mobility Aids Grant, Local Authority Home Loans, the DCB Grant Scheme, of course, and the Septic Tank Grant Scheme. So there's a lot in there. That's some of it. Is it all designed as to be as easily accessible and understandable as, say, for instance, the Derelict Properties Grant?
I suppose the idea of this really is to have the people that are administering those grants available to the public at each of these information sessions. So, like, everybody has individual questions, and where you can publish information, it may not necessarily answer their specific question. So the idea here is to have those present, that they can take their individual question. They could come maybe with the idea of seeking one particular support, but then when they get into the room and they become aware of what else is available, and they may be available more than one also, which is important to say, that they're getting targeted information and they're going away then with the correct information, not depend on maybe others or social media to give them the wrong message.
Yeah, and of course too, some of this is grants, some of it you have to fork up some cash yourself, and I think it's interesting that local banks and credit unions will be there where people can sort of tease out their ability to bridge, the clawback on certain schemes, etc. Be it if it were improving the insulation in a property or what have you. To have an understanding of the numbers there and then.
Definitely, and one of the biggest things that we take back from any information sessions we've ever attended is that people have the property, they have the dream, maybe they have the will to do it, but getting access to finance has very often been the barrier. So that's why we were very keen to try and bring the financial institutions, the credit unions, on board with us in this. Now, we extended invitation to every institution in the county, told them the dates that they're on, told them we'd have tables there for them, and we've had a positive response from that, so we look forward to welcome there also. Yeah,
and in fairness, there's quite a lot goes on in terms of grants for older people to improve their homes and make them more comfortable and warmer. A lot of people have benefited from that, and just to put a number on it for you, Donegal County Council has paid out an average of 600 grants per year, covering some of the stuff that we've been talking about. And this year, they expect to pay €5 million out, which is it's a significant sum, and that's just in relation to these, the adaptation grants that we're talking about.
Yes, that's correct. And the most recent budget actually provided an increase in the amount being paid out, reflecting the increased costs and works and things like that now. So it is a vital support to a lot of people. It's life-changing. That's really what those supports are.
You talked about some of the schemes that people may not be aware of. The Find Me a Home in Donegal scheme is an interesting one. I'm not sure if this is under your direct control. And it makes owners of vacant properties with those seeking to purchase vacant properties. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure how big the uptake in that might be, because there's other ways people can sort of sell houses and stuff, but it's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one, and the idea behind it, and it is administered by our team, all right, is that, excuse me, we maintain two lists of people, those that are seeking a property in a specific area, but also those that are looking to have a property put on the market, we'll say, for sale. So they may have no intention of doing something with themselves, and they're thinking, well, listen, here somebody else might do it. Like, we're not auctioneers. All we're trying to do is put people in touch with others.
It's a database almost.
It's creating a conduit really between the two. And everybody is acutely aware of vacant and derelict properties, and thankfully, with the uptake of the vacant property flourishing grant, they're going down. They're definitely going in the right direction. But the idea of the Find Me a Home scheme really is to try and expand out the catchment really, and encourage others maybe that have properties to make them available to those, because the list, as you can imagine, of those seeking the properties is far greater than those that have the properties.
And another scheme that we heard of some time ago, but not very often, is the repair and lease scheme. So what is that scheme?
So the repair and lease scheme is a loan as opposed to a grant.
Yeah.
So it's a repayable loan over a defined period. So that is for people that would have properties that the council may have an interest in acquiring for a defined period of time, and they will take a tenancy of the property and pay the owner an agreed rent. Now, there's up to €80,000 per unit available under the repair and lease scheme, and there can be multiple units within the one property. It does have to be a property that matches the requirements of, let's say, those that are on the social housing list for the council. So there's a lot of groundwork to do to get it to the point. But again, coming forward, talking about, if you have properties available, come and speak to those that are my colleagues in the housing section that administer the repair and lease scheme. but tell them, what properties you have and what your ideas maybe are for it.
All right, I'm just going to read out. Where these meetings are taking place. So the events will run from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and will include a presentation on the vacant property refurbishment grant, starting at 4:30 p.m. So on Tuesday, the 18th of November, between 4 and 7 p.m. in the Carndonagh Public Services Centre. In Letterkenny on Thursday, the 20th of November, at the Letterkenny Public Services Centre. Donegal Town on Monday the 24th, the Donegal Town Public Services Centre. On Cloughanlea on Thursday the 27th, between 4 and 7 p.m. That's in the Dunlow Public Services Centre. And Ballabafay Stranolar on Monday the 1st of December between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Right, a caller says, we've been waiting 2 months on a grant. It's been a very slow process, so we had to ring Dublin to move it along. What happened to the 1 or 2 week turnaround? I'm now in week 6 of waiting. Our builder is waiting to get paid. For now, he's been patient, but how long will it last? I'm not sure. I've been told to take out a loan. That's not possible for us.
That would be a fairly exceptional case now, in fairness. What I would say, maybe without knowing the specifics of it, we do have to check tax clearances for the tradespeople used. Now, tax clearance is a fluid situation. It can change from month to month. If they're not coming up as cleared, well, then we can't proceed to issue payment until at such time as it would be. That may not be the issue in this case, but I would welcome that person to maybe get in contact with me directly, and I'll see can I help them out. Yeah,
because given the normal pattern, if there are any delays, it can often be in that space.
Very often that is usually the issue.
There's a council house vacant beside me for near 30 years and the council still owns it. I mean, that's very specific. I don't know what the...
I don't know.
No, I'm not
really
putting you on the spot on that one. I mean, because it's one house and it's one person's testimony there, and I'm not doubting it for a second, but everything isn't always as it might seem. Right, so I would almost ask you questions about the auto-enrollment pension. I wouldn't put you through that. Right, okay, so in relation to just a couple of points, because I get asked this quite a while, we'll just go back, if you don't mind, to... There was a review of the scheme, the vacant property scheme. There was some suggestion maybe of stage payments or increases, and I think it was last April or something that was due to be concluded. I take it we've heard nothing since?
No, it is something we're eagerly awaiting, the update of that review. I know the findings are sitting with the Minister currently, so the change of government, I suppose, did delay that publication. But one thing that did change, I suppose, was that the scheme was due to end at the end of 2025, in the next month, and that has been extended to 2030. So that might give some people a little bit of solace to know that it's not going away anytime soon. It is working, so we're keen to see for it to keep working. There are different mutants about what the changes may be. There is definitely coming further incentives to promote the vacant above the shop units.
Yeah, I saw that. Right, yeah.
That's a big one, because that's kind of the blight in a lot of towns, really. So that's going to be one of the big ones and first to be delivered, I would imagine. I think these changes are going to come in incrementally. I don't think it's going to be one clean sweep. It seems to be kind of the way things are moving.
It not that really you're in a position to talk about this as an employee of the council, but it is a very relatively cheap way for the state to deliver housing. It's not going to be the solution to any housing crises, and it can't be for everyone. But I mean, in terms of in cost to the state, how much a house is being delivered for, it's really good value. There's not much out there like it, right?
It's definitely a win-win situation, and what we would find on the ground is we would have an awful lot of younger couples, that see this really as their only avenue to gaining a home, and that's the real reward for us as a team, and seeing that and hearing the stories and the feedback. And thank you cards coming in the post. So when you get them coming, you're doing something right.
You don't see it too often. Okay, listen, thanks for that. We'll post the times, dates and venues again for these public information afternoon stroke evenings, and there's a lot of information there in relation to not just the vacant property refurbishment grant, but housing aids for older people grant, housing adaptation grant for disabled people, the mobility aids grant, the local authority home loans, defective concrete blocks grant schemes, and septic tank grant schemes. It's across venues across the various municipal districts towards the end of November and into December. But for now, Vincent, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Greg.
That's Vincent Cranley, Vacant Homes Officer, Community Development and Planning Services with Donegal County Council.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Calling all self-builders and rebuilders. Are you planning to build an A-rated energy-efficient home? Join Castle Farms for a free information day, Saturday 22nd of November at the Clannery Hotel, Letterkenny, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Build faster, warmer and more cost-effectively with ICF walls and insulated foundations from Castle Farms.
Are you renovating your home or moving house? Either way, it may require a clear out. Before you fill your skip with items you no longer need, think circular and ask yourself, can the item be reused, given to family or friends, recycled, donated to charity, or even sold? So think before you skip it. Go to mywaste.ie for help and suggestions on how to do a clear out in an efficient and circular way. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
At Hidden Hearing, we believe you should keep hearing it all. Keep dancing. Keep celebrating. Keep laughing. Keep being you. Call 1-800-370-000 or go to hiddenhearing.ie and book a free hearing test today. Hidden Hearing. Your hearing is our expertise.
A chonig cóirí féin fasúnathe. Tá do thuairis gan connacin cum dilite inis. Buanúsáid as ras chun ícíocht agus sílacha a dhéanamh ar lína faoi 9 láid ag de bhína saona. Le haid tuile ólis, téchuig www.revenue.ie/íoc agus tílaach. Ná fáin. Íoc agus tílaach inniu chuna cínte go seachnaíonn tú ús for bhuiir ó hílachaí déanacha agus pinóis.
Black Friday isn't just one day at Watson Hire, or even one weekend, because for the full month of November, they have great deals every day. With their 12 o'clock drop on Facebook, there's 3 brilliant deals every day on end-of-line and regular stock. All deals are available in store and online at watsonhire.ie, with click and collect available in just 30 minutes. That's Black Friday deals right now at Watson Hire, Lisnenan, Letterkenny.
Have you booked your place on Highland Radio's Cavan Country Getaway at the Sleeve Russell Hotel, Monday 2nd to Thursday 5th of February? Enjoy dinner, bed and breakfast, plus live music from David James, Jimmy Buckley, Dominic Kerwin, Louise Morrissey, Sean Keane and many more. All for €495 per person sharing. Call us to book or visit highlandradio.com. Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So it'll be cool and dry for most of today with plenty of sunshine, just the odd isolated light shower. Cloud will build into parts of our region later, but holding mostly dry for daylight hours. Temperatures 6 to 9 degrees. Just to let you know that it's going to be getting colder over the coming days. This is an Arctic air mass moves down over the country on Tuesday night. It'll lead to some good bright weather, but there will be showers, especially across our region. Some will fall as sleet or hail, and there is the potential for some snow showers too, especially over the higher ground. So you can expect frost and ice to become fairly widespread for a couple of nights. But the good news is, if you don't like the cold, it's going to turn less cold at the end of the week and for next weekend. But you know, at this time of year, what does that mean? It means the weather then gets more unsettled again. So it's a mixed bag. But there you go. We'll be getting some announcements, certainly, I would say, if not tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, about gritters being out in action and so on and so forth. Good morning, Greg. I just want to say my daughter and 2 grandchildren were in Letterkenny yesterday. I was a bit worried about the port roundabout, but not a bother. We went to Penny's, and as I have mobility issues, a beautiful young employee of Penny's took the time to help me with my purchase. We then went to Dunn's, round the port roundabout again, not a bother, lol. We had a great day, but it was cold in Letterkenny. So fair play to the staff member in Penny's for going out and helping there, and they had a nice experience in Duns, and that was yesterday, so a bit of good news there. A caller says, re-watering Buncrana, the Eddie Fullerton Dam is connected to Letterkenny. Why is Buncrana not benefiting from that dam? I think the problems at the moment aren't in terms of the amount of water, it's actually water delivery, if you know what I mean. So things not quite as simple as they always seem. And a quick birthday request, Danny McDermott's in Raffo. Happy birthday, Danny, from all your friends and family at home and abroad. They want us to play Danny Boy. We don't get a chance to play music, but I'm sure it'll be picked up later on during the day here on Highland Radio.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Shannon Airport has handy parking, famously short queues, great people, seamless security and amazing destinations. It's the shortcut to your next holiday, like Broadway in New York, croissants in Paris, tapas in Madrid, or reindeer rides in Lapland. So whatever the destination, enjoy a hassle-free airport experience. Shannon Airport, making it easy.
Monster Bingo every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel. €3,300 must go with €1,000 on the last page. Doors open 7:30. Bingo starts at 8:30. That's Monster Bingo this and every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel, Milford.
This Christmas, make it magical with a top-name fragrance or gift set from McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. Choose from names like Chanel, Lancôme and Dior. Also Jimmy Choo, Yves Saint Laurent, Prada and many more, all at great prices. From timeless classics to the latest designer scents, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Shop in store or online at mcgees.ie. McGee's, where the best costs less.
Make this Christmas unforgettable at Encourage Hotel in the heart of Donegal's Wild Atlantic Way. Enjoy cosy family rooms, selection boxes and hot chocolate for the kids, plus tickets to Errigal Pet Zoo's magical Santa experience, complete with reindeer grotto and festive fun for all. Book your Santa experience at Encourage today at encouragehotel.com.
Workwear, workwear, workwear at Borderland Muff. Winter jackets, fleeces and hoodies at Borderland Muff. For fashion jeans and waterproofs, Borderland Muff. Christmas and Ski Wear Club now open. Stock in Columbia, Apache, Snickers and more. Open 7 days and online at borderlandmuff.ie.
What if you could send a free chocolate bar in secret to someone special? Just to, give them a little lift. With the Cadbury Secret Santa postal service, you can send free chocolate secretly from a poster. They're popping up all over the country, from great big cities to quaint little towns. Look out for a poster near you or search Cadbury Secret Santa to find out more. 18 plus, free service on selected products while stocks last until December the 21st. For full terms and conditions, visit cadbury.ie.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Oh, it's been a busy one, hasn't it? We've another minister to chat to before the show's out, and we've got live music in studio. Lots to come in the next hour. But at 11 o'clock, let's get a news update and say good morning again to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. The anger felt over water supply issues in Inishowen is palpable. Local councillor Jack Murray says many families entered day 3 of no water today and that it simply isn't good enough. It's expected that the issue will be fixed this afternoon, with Ishka Aaron saying that crews are on the ground to see the problem fixed. Over €4.9 million of Peace Plus funding has been announced by the special EU programmes body for projects in Donegal as well as Derry City and Strabane. The funding will aid the development of 12 smart hubs in both areas over the next 4 years to help communities access modern technologies. Traffic calming measures are to be considered at Ross and Kilfannet by Donegal County Council. This is following a meeting of Letterkenny Milford Municipal District where Councillor Liam Blaney raised the issue, saying the area was becoming increasingly dangerous. Officials say a speed survey can be arranged to assess the current issues, with a full assessment of what needs to be done and how it can be funded also due. A 57-year-old man has been arrested and bailed after police in Derry became concerned about his driving on Saturday night. After being pulled over, police found a strong smell of cannabis from the vehicle and partially used drugs. He was arrested on suspicion of possession of a Class B controlled drug and driving while unfit through drink or drugs. The Taoiseach says the nation is numb and in shock following the death of 5 young people in a crash in County Louth on Saturday night. Chloe McGee, Shay Duffy, Alan McCluskey, Dylan Cummins and Chloe Hibson died on the RD Road in Dundalk after 9 p.m. Garda family liaison officers have been assigned to the families of the victims, who were all in their early 20s, while an investigation into the cause of the 2 vehicle crash is ongoing. And finally, 39 people have been left waiting for a bed in Letterkenny University Hospital this morning. It's the 4th highest number in the state. 18 of those are in the emergency department, while the remaining 21 are in wards elsewhere. According to the figures published by the INMO this morning, Letterkenny and Sligo University Hospital account for 62 patients waiting on trolleys across the northwest. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with more headlines at 12 noon.
Thank you very much indeed, Donna Marie Doherty. We're going to have one of our last chats of the season with Brendan Devaney after a short break.
Throbbing head, sore back, the aches and pains of cold and flu. No one pain is the same. But for all those everyday pains, there's a moment when you start to feel release. That moment when you start to get back to being you, and you feels amazing. Panadol Extra film-coated tablets. Powerful pain relief. Release starts here. Contains paracetamol. Always read the label, leaflet.
We are joined now by Brendan Devaney from Highland Radio's DL Debate podcast. It's a live show too, broadcast every Monday evening just after the 7 o'clock. Did you figure out when you're going to have your little break for yourself yet?
No, I'm still musing it over, Greg. But I'll take break yourself, you know. Someone in the hierarchy here at Highland, I'll take direction from them.
Yeah, the higher ups. I just do what I'm told. I just do what I'm told.
Hey, that's it's important to know that. Yeah. It's an easier way to live life, isn't it?
Exactly. Come here. It was a big sporting weekend off the pitch GEA too. It's amazing too the joy sport can bring. Ireland with that amazing win over Hungary, 3-2 in the end. The joy, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you see it all year round with the football, don't get me wrong, and we see it in clubs and parishes and what have you, but obviously that's national and it brings the country together, even if it's fleeting.
Yes, and do you know what, Greg? I think one of the biggest things is that how it can change so quick. I mean, not winning any of your opening games and then having Portugal at home, ranked 4th in the world, and then away to Hungary. So listen, everybody was thinking, right, where are we going here? This is a disaster. You know, there was so much kind of doom and gloom about it. And then you have from Thursday to Sunday, and just the manner of it, the style of it. I mean, being 2-1 down, right? You know, I was there with Trasa watching it yesterday, and I was just saying we need to score somewhere in the early 80s. To get the equaliser and then put the pressure on them. But of course, they were dangerous on the break as well. So you had this feeling in your gut, God, as we go for it, trying to get the equaliser, where they go 3-1 up, game over. So just the manner of it, and you know, the emotion of Parrott yesterday, Greg, it was hard not to tear up watching him speak.
It was amazing. It meant so much.
If you look at his career, Greg, that he was such a star underage, you know, and coming through at Spurs. Now, to be a striker at a team like Spurs, you know, you have to be one of the best in the world, but that would have been his dream. And they have to give up on that, you know, and he ended up out in the Dutch league and that. I suppose for him, somewhat of maybe a knockback in terms of where he thought he was going when he was a young man and where he wanted to be, which was in the Premier League. So they do what he did, Greg. 5 goals against Portugal and Hungary in a matter of 4 days. That's just absolutely remarkable. And to see him
well, he could be your mate, he could be your brother, he could be your son, he could be your uncle. He's just a regular guy.
Yeah, and listen, I love the fact that he had that emotion attached, Greg, because I think that's what differentiates obviously the likes of international football to club football, and I think we're so pushed now in the Premier League and the Champions League. It is driven down our throat, and they're controlling it. They're actually pushing international football down a lot for me, and we're kind of probably losing a bit of what that.
I've stopped watching Premier League football. I just find it a merry-go-round. Whichever team is the biggest spend. Now, I know Liverpool spent big in the close season, and maybe the return's not there. But it's this, I've talked to you about this before, it's this bitterness, this bitter rivalry, like, oh, you're a Man United scumbag and you're a Liverpool tramp and you're a Rangers this and you're a Celtic that. And I'm like, oh, Christ, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be sport, like, you know.
But you know what, Rick? It's very well packaged and it suits the way they can kind of highlight a lot of it and the bigger games is on and you forget it now. International football then quite often when there's a lot at stake, and particularly like of Ireland, then it's not anywhere near as entertaining the football, if you like. Now, particularly in those early games, like they were hard to watch, Greg.
Well,
now,
after the Armenia game, I went on Facebook and I said, like, these lads don't even want to play for their country. What we should do is finish off the campaign with just a League of Ireland team. You know, Irish lads that
yeah.
I couldn't find that post to delete it yesterday, so it's still out there somewhere.
You know what? You're only looking at what you're seeing there and then. Now, as been noted a lot, in terms of raising the game and focusing on a game plan, we should that kind of counter-attack set and everybody focus to the last, which when we go and have to take a team apart, it's a bit different. But certainly, I suppose the buzz and the occasion that we created, and I suppose the belief of Thursday night. Look at the way it energized the players and just transformed them. And of course, now we a couple of things to come through if we can in terms of the playoffs. But to even be there now with a chance, Greg, is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'll say it one more time. I said it to Shay Given. He was on at the start of the show a little earlier on too. It kind of reminded me after the first couple of games. It kind of reminded me of, you know, when Donegal were in the doldrums and you know you had the locker room leaders coming out and having to face the media off the back of real crap performances, and then to see them, you know, have faith in themselves, even maybe when fans lost faith. And to come back and put in a season like they did last season, it reminded me a little bit of that Ireland team. That belief in the locker room and the belief they had in themselves, it had to actually outweigh, you know, couch fans like myself giving up on them. You know, I kind of feel bad for that, but you know yourself, it's sport, right?
I think probably, Greg, in that is what you were talking about there was the desire in that. And I think, say if a team, no matter how limited they are, if they look like they're giving it, they're getting stuck in, and they're showing that passion. I don't think any real fan can ever complain about that because if you're
right,
a better team you are. But sometimes if you see a bit of a kind of lackluster performance, maybe somebody not working as hard as they should, or you just don't see the kind of will to win.
Well, that's what made club football for a couple of years become so unwatchable, because the players obviously wanted to win, but the way the game was at that time, even the most committed team looked like they didn't really want to win because there was a lot of patient football back and forwards across the lines and all that kind of stuff. The fans just want to be entertained and they'll back you. And I think you actually said that back in the day. Go out and play a certain way, and at least you'll have played to your best.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's why we talked to Finbar Rorty last week. I was saying to him how much the Donegal fans love you outside of the brilliance that he is as a player, but the way he plays the game, Greg, he almost broke ranks from our kind of zonal defense. I'm after people, and I actually was close to saying to him, did you ever almost get ticked off? Are you allowed to do that? Because everybody else was holding the line, whereas Finbar was like,
he was having none of it.
I'm going after the ball here. And I think, as you said there, the supporters absolutely love that. When you see somebody going after the first tackle, a second, even a third, I think that's an important. So for the players we're playing in, Greg, I guess the balance in that is that if you're being told to play a style and everybody's in on that style, which unfortunately they were, everybody became a defender in some of them games. That's where the game got dragged down. But players were just doing what they were told. But I think now, at least with a 3 up, you've seen a good change in that.
All right, on to the show then. Reflecting on hurling, a mixed bag for Setanta and Burt.
Yes. Simon Buchanan, ex Setanta player, now chairman. Listen, a mixed bag in one way, Greg. Obviously, delight for Burt and Setanta beat, but really for Setanta to play in the senior hurling championship and play, a team from Antrim, St John's, it's phenomenal. I mean, those Antrim teams, Greg, can mix it with every hurling team in Ireland. So you're actually at the very peak of club hurling football there, club hurling, and to be there, Greg. For a Donegal team. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that was ever possible, but yes, obviously because Setanta had won the intermediate last time they were in, they got up in that, but not only got up in the senior hurling. They play a team from Antrim, Greg. So even though they were beaten, they were well in it, Greg, at half time. You know, it was only 5 points in it, and they were, even in the second half, they come back to a couple. You know, they showed their all. Obviously, you were expecting St. John's to pull away, which they did, but they certainly give it their all. So listen, you know, you look at steps that need to be taken at times, Greg, like that's a massive one for Donegal hurling, you know.
Yep, brilliant stuff. And it's also too reflecting, but also looking forward. By the way, I think you mentioned there, you have Setanta Chairman Simon McMenamin on, which is great. And we also always enjoy listening to Gaelic Life's Michael McMullen. So there'll be a bit of reflection, but also some previews as well.
Yes, a bit of reflection. Listen, Michael McMullen was actually at the hurling matches as well, but we'll chat a wee bit about the also club football too with him, and even the managerial merry-go-round at the minute that's happening. People are coming in and out everywhere. I'm delighted to say as well, I've Conor Garland on. He's the man of the match
For
from
Birds, yeah.
Burt Junior Hurling Championship one. So he actually he won that game with 14 men after extra time. So a huge victory for the Birdmen. Conor, of course, is one of the best hurlers in the county, so be nice to catch up with him this evening also.
Any exclusives for us? Because you do on the QT sometime drop a little bit of information that does come to pass, Brendan. Nothing stirring, no?
Listen, I've got a few things in my mind. Can I text them to you instead?
We're referring to Luke Barrett making his switch to Derry. It was flagged on this show by Brendan. Right, okay, that's the DL debate tonight, just after 7 o'clock, looking back at the big stories from the world of GEA in the county and across the province as well, and looking forward to the Ulster Club matches next weekend. Guests include man of the match Conor Garland from Burt. There's reps on from Setanta as well, Setanta Chairman Simon McMenamin. It'll be interesting, actually. That's an interest. Sometimes those conversations are actually interesting off the back of certain results. And Michael McMullen, as well as our own Brendan Devaney. Thanks so much for that, Brendan. I do appreciate it, buddy.
Burke travelled to London now to play their next game. So
you're right.
You want to go over and do a wee broadcast over there? Will we follow the Birdmen over to London? Would that be?
I am, as long as I get on a plane. I'll jump on any bandwagon.
You used to be a sports reporter. We can get you back in there.
Well, my brother Jerome did a few hurling matches, and the one thing that we were early in our careers is bluffers. There's just no doubt about that. There's a tape of him covering a hurling game out there somewhere. It's hilarious. All right, listen, thanks, Brendan. Look after yourself. That's Brendan Devaney, presenter of Highland Radio's DL Debate. And it's not the last show today, by the way. But, of course, I imagine at some point he'll be taking a break for the winter, but we shall see. A YouTube watcher says, can it be assured that these properties are for people on the housing lists? It's not that type of a scheme. This would be for someone to acquire a property, and you have to live in it for a certain amount of years, or else there's a clawback on the grant, or it has to be made available to rent for a certain amount of time, or there's a clawback on the grant as well. So it has to be either your principal private residence, or you have to make it available for rent. And if you don't do either of those for the specified time, then there's a clawback on the grant. So that's, I presume, the checks and balance there, but this isn't to service, that scheme isn't to service per se the housing lists.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Buying or moving home can be a strange mixture of excitement and stress. So the last thing you need is worrying about conveyancing. Time to call McElhenney & Associates. They'll move that property transaction along swiftly, make sure everything's in order, and prevent any nasty surprises. Residential, commercial, leasing, or voluntary transfer. Call today on 074 917 5989 or find us online. We'll do the paperwork, you do the wallpaper. McElhenney & Associates Solicitors, Stranorlar. How can we help?
Hillary's best ever Black Friday sale is now on, and it doesn't get any better than this.
with an extra 10% off absolutely everything. That's on top of up to 50% off hundreds of made-to-measure blinds, curtains and shutters. Plus, control your blinds from anywhere with a half-price Smart Hub when you buy any electric blind, with measuring and fitting always included. And word to the window wise, if you order your blinds and curtains now, we'll fit in time for Christmas. Book your free in-home appointment today at hillarys.ie. Conditions apply.
The Three Amigos, Jimmy Buckley, Robert Mazzell and Patrick Feeney are back on tour. This award-winning show is full of laughter, music and song. See the Three Amigos live. Clonry Hotel, Letterkenny, Monday, January 26th. Tickets priced $39.50, now on sale at hotel reception and ticketmaster.ie, where extra charges may apply. The Three Amigos live. This show is not to be missed.
Introducing Flow for Men, my new fragrance collection of products created to keep you feeling fresh and looking sharp. The ideal gift for the man in your life. Find Flow in pharmacies nationwide or online at flowbybogue.com. Start every day with confidence.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time now is, what time is it? It's 18 minutes past 11. You're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. We have some live music coming up for you shortly, so you've got that to look forward to. And we also have our next guest online with us. It's Minister Patrick O'Donovan of Fine Gael. He's Minister for Culture, Communication and Sport. Good morning, Minister.
Morning.
Thank you so much for your time. Right, so the government's new housing plan... it's ambitious, but I'll tell you what the feeling on the ground is, Minister, and this is probably because of previous experiences. Anyone I've spoken to just feel it can't be delivered on for various reasons, not because of the will of the government, but because of the lack of maybe water infrastructure like we have in Donegal, power, planning, and people actually available to physically get on the ground and build these homes.
Well, the first thing I'd say is that since 2008, our population has grown by over 1 million. So, like Ireland has experienced the largest population growth of any EU country in percentage terms. So we can't negate that. The reality is that Taoiseach just said the other day, for every 10,000 people that come into the country, whether they're returning migrants, people coming back or whatever, we need an additional 3,000 housing units, whether they're apartments or houses. So that's the most fundamental thing that often gets overlooked, is that during the period of time that we have been working in government with our partners, the population in the country has exploded. Now we're putting a significant amount of money into what you say there, areas around wastewater treatment, power generation, power transmission, for EirGrid as part of the National Development Plan. And this is across the country. In my own department, we'll finish out shortly the National Broadband Plan, which is ahead of budget, ahead of target, and ahead of schedule. And it's not that long ago, when I was on programs like this, the biggest issue in terms of infrastructure around the country was broadband, and we're happily making massive progress in that now. But I accept that the first thing that you have to be able to do before you build a house is be able to flush the toilet. And the reality is that Irish Water now have a significant amount of money available to them for housing completions, and this will allow them to make sure that connections are made in provincial areas of the country, like Donegal and Limerick and Kerry and everywhere else.
We have to see those plans, Minister, don't we? Because at the moment we're seeing houses actually that are seeking planning permission, housing developments, and Uisce Éireann is saying, well, we don't have the sewer or the water to connect, and they can't be delivered then as a result. Well, we still have large swathes of this county under hose pipe bans from the summer. They can't take any more connections, and unfortunately, the likes of Letterkenny, parts of Inishowen, they're also at the brink of not being able to connect any more houses. Now, I'm saying Donegal, I'm not being parochial. I imagine this is reflected right across the country. Is that not really the key issue to delivering on these targets?
Well, it's one of them, but I mean, I make no apology for the fact that I was in favour of Irish Water when it was being established, and I was also in favour of water charges. And I remember saying in the Dáil at the time that because we were now going to embark on a situation where we were going to leave Irish Water unfunded, a lot of political parties had decided that they were going to unfund Irish Water, that the reality was that we were going to hit a major impasse. I remember saying this in the Dáil. A lot of people in Donegal pay for their water because they're on group water schemes, that they're on wells, and they pay for it and they have it. But this should not come as a surprise to people, where an awful lot of our opposition in particular made it a virtue out of making sure that Irish Water would be left as a commercial company with no commercial revenue. But what we have done as a government is we've set aside 12.5 billion euros for water and 3.5 billion euros for the grid. Now, we can only have grid extensions and connections as well if we have responsible politics. And unfortunately, what we've seen in the last number of years all over the place is a plethora of people, a lot of them involved in politics, who object to houses, who object to transmission cables, and who object to everything. And we do need a fundamental rethink in relation to who can object, for what purpose can they object, and how long can that objection be withheld.
But that's for future that's for future development
But
plans. Though these houses are being built under the current development plans.
Yeah,
so
but sure, these people have been objected since Job was a boy. They've been objecting for donkey's years, and they've been holding up things for donkey's years. And now the chickens have come home to roost. Only the problem is that there's no roost for them to go into, because the objectors have had their way for far too long in many cases.
So, say for instance, we can get the water, sewer, power situation shortage. What about workers? I saw some figures, and I'm not sure how accurate they are. I trust them, but you know yourself. We had something like 270,000 people working in construction during the Celtic Tiger era. Now it's much short of that, around 170 odd thousand. And there are some figures out there saying that we need 80,000 more skilled workers. And these are numbers to actually meet the government's housing plan. So where are these workers going to come from, Minister?
Well, they're already coming into the country from third countries outside the European Union. We have skilled workers coming in every day of the week, and I know my constituency office here.
But they have to live somewhere too, you see.
They do. But I have skilled workers coming into my constituency every day of the week, and I have construction companies that are looking for assistance with regard to work permits. We also have more people taking up, and I'm a former minister for further and higher education. We have more people going into apprenticeships than we've ever had before, and especially the wet apprenticeships. And we're also looking now, and I was the minister when I was responsibility for the Office of Public Works, I did that first large scale modern methods of construction public housing scheme in the country. So modern methods of construction are being used across the country for a variety of different reasons, including, for instance, hospital extensions and schools and other things. And there's no reason that can't be extended. But you're right. I mean, but the reality is that the government has a plan and has money set aside. I mean, some people will always, say, even if you could tell them, "Oh, isn't it a great day?" They'll always say, "Well, there's rain in the forecast." They'll always be pessimists with regard to whatever the government put forward.
I do think, though, Minister, with respect to the people that are listening to this show, they want whatever government is to be successful and to deliver houses, and they're not judging it on what might happen in the future.
I didn't say those people.
Sinn Féin or what? I don't know where. I'm speaking to the listeners in Donegal. I know, but I don't know who you're talking about. If you're on about opposition parties.
Sorry, I don't know why you're getting so defensive. I didn't mention a single political party.
Well, you cast out.
I didn't mention the name of any. I didn't mention the name of any party.
No. I don't care.
The only person who has mentioned the name of a party is you.
I'm trying to ascertain: are you talking about the public, or are you talking about politics? Because you talked about naysayers and objectors. You've talked about people that want. Yes.
Just to get one thing straight. The only person who has mentioned the name of a political party in this interview is you.
Okay, so who are you talking about?
Well, I don't know why an interviewer interviewing a government minister would bring up the name of a political party that hasn't been brought up.
Oh, so sorry, you're reprimanding me now?
No, I'm not, but I'm just wondering.
Why are you so defensive? I don't understand why you're being so defensive.
I'm actually.
What is the big deal?
Being defensive.
Because I'm asking you. I'm asking, Minister. I'm asking you.
Yes, you asked me to come on your show. The only person here being defensive is yourself, and you're the person who mentioned the name
I'm
of
asking, you talked about the naysayers, and you talked about the people that would say it was wet
in the reform of the planning
bright.
legislation.
But who are you talking? But who are you talking about? That's what
I'm talking in general terms of people who have, for the last generation, abused the situation with regard to judicial reviews and
Okay, so
objections to local
objectors,
authorities.
right? Okay,
And,
I understand that.
but just for so your listeners can be clear, the only person who mentioned the name of a political party was you.
Yeah, but not swear words. I'm only trying to ascertain who you're talking about specifically. When you talk about,
It's
about
funny you
when
didn't mention Labour, or you didn't mention the Greens, or you didn't mention People Before Profit, or you didn't mention.
There's no people.
Anyway.
Well, there's no People Before Profit representative in Donegal. There's one Labour councillor, and there's no one elected as a Green member in this county either, Minister. So that's the reason. I was trying to ascertain if it was opposition or you were talking about are we as a nation naysayers. That's all. Anyway. The one thing I want to just ask briefly, and I don't think you're interested in hanging around too long, so I won't take up too much more of your time.
No, sorry. How did you deduce that?
Because you were talking about how I invited you on, and then
I didn't say that I was in a hurry.
Didn't like what I said, or something.
No,
along
I didn't.
those
I
lines.
actually didn't say that either. You can rewind the tapes, and I didn't say that either.
That's perfectly fine, Minister. In relation to not having targets, not having annual targets, what's the logic of that? Because to some extent, some would argue what's in for 25, 26, and maybe even a bit of 27 might already be locked in. So that means the last 2 or 3 years of this scheme is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. What was the motivation for not having specific annual guidelines?
And the minister went into this in some detail the other day when he launched it, and I'm sure there's going to be statements in the Dáil on it as well. The government have a significant amount of money set aside for water and for the grid especially, which hasn't been done heretofore. There hasn't been this extent of the amount of money for wastewater and for drinking water, as well as for the transmission grid is what we have now. So they're obviously prioritised. Irish Water have their programme up and running, as do EirGrid and the ESB. That's not to say that there's also going to be issues with regard to rezoning. Like, we are very adamant that local authorities need to rezone land. Some local authorities have dezoned land, and these are service sites, places around the country where land has been dezoned, where there are adequate services available, and for really no apparent reason in many cases, councils have decided to dezone the land. We need to change that. Our population is growing at an astronomical rate, and it's going to continue to, and that's a good thing. I think most people would accept that for the first time since the famine, the population of the island, north and south, has now surpassed the 1847 figure, and that's a good thing. But we need to make sure that as we grow the population, that we grow our services properly, and that we grow communities. And as Minister for Sport and as Minister with responsibility for sport, it's my intention, after the weekend that we've had, which was a fantastic weekend, it's my intention to make sure that the investment into that area continues, as well as broadband, as well as our telecom services as well, because we can't just build houses isolated like what was done in the 70s and 60s with no services around them. We have to make sure that we have services to build communities as well.
All right, and just finally, of course, you talked about the population explosion or the population growth during Fine Gael's time in government. Part of the contribution to that, though, is going to be our immigration policy. And your own party leader has said that needs to be reviewed, that needs to be looked at. So whilst you say this is a good thing, and I do understand there's lots of people coming in on work visas and there's lots of people returning from other countries back to Ireland, so to speak, but do you see any contrast or conflict in the fact that you say our population growth is great, it's exploded, and at the same time we have Simon Harris saying, look, we've perhaps need to look at this, the amount of people we have coming into this country?
No, because what he's talking about is illegal and legal migration and the difference between it. Some people have a right to be in the state, and that right needs to be protected. Other people don't have a right to be in the state, and that right needs to be vindicated by the state to have those people return to where they came from. And unfortunately, for many years, and this is not a phenomenon that's restricted to Ireland, it's also a phenomenon in the United Kingdom and elsewhere. Illegal migration, in some cases trafficking, has been going on for quite a long time, and we need to get to a situation where people get, the situation regularised, where if you're coming into the state, and I think the Minister for Justice is very clear in relation to this as well, that the time frame around migration will be shortened in terms of processing. If you have a right to be here, either a returning migrant, passport holder, or work permit holder, there's no issue. If you don't have a right to be here, I think it's only fair that the government would be clearly enunciating that if you don't have a right to be in the state, that you shouldn't be in the state, and that one of two things happen. Either you leave voluntarily or the state deports you.
Okay, Minister Patrick Donovan, Minister for Culture, Communications and Sport. Thanks so much for joining us
Thanks very
this
much.
morning. Have a great day. 08660 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number. 08660 25,000, or give us a call on 07491 25,000. We'll be back with more on this Monday's 9 till noon show after the break.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Based in Donegal Town, Donegal Waste and Recycle provides a fast, reliable bin service across the county. With affordable plans for homes and businesses, we make waste collection easy and dependable all year round. For trusted local service, visit donegalwasteandrecycle.com or call 074 974 0130. Donegal Waste and Recycle.
There's great value on Lego this Christmas at Dunnes Stores, including online exclusives like the Dark Falcon, now $143.99, or the Red Bull Racing RB20 and the Ferrari SF24, now $179.99 each. Plus, you can save even more on Lego with your vouchers. Order these online exclusive sets at dunstoresgrocery.com today. Make Christmas for everyone at Dunnes Stores. Terms and conditions apply. Vouchers can be used on next grocery shop.
Looking for a nearly new 2025 model without the new car price? At iMotors, our demo and nearly new cars have little to no mileage, and you'll save thousands versus the new price. Fantastic cars, fantastic savings. Visit imotors.ie or drop by today and drive away a deal you'll love. iMotors, fearless generation.
We check the forecast, we check the fuel gauge, we check calorie counts and best before dates. We check we have our keys, then check again for safety. We check shopping lists, to-do lists and checklists, obviously. We check bus times, train times, tram times, plane times. We check whether what used to be Czechoslovakia is now the Czech Republic or Czechia. So why don't we check before donating to a charity? The Charities Regulator keeps a public register of charities in Ireland with details on what they do, who runs them, and some information on their finances. So click, check, and give confidently. Find out more at checkacharity.ie.
'Twas the countdown to Christmas, and all through the house, everyone wishing for a National Trust Day out. But to where, you ask? Well, tell you we will. Adventures await, pure joy, sheer thrill. Rowallan Gardens Yuletide Market returns. With Mount Stewart's festive trail, great family fun. For a Georgian Christmas, it's Castle Ward, and the Argery's Twilight Market is one to look toward. So wrap up warm and you can rely. For great Christmas fun, search National Trust NI.
This Christmas, step into Evolve Clothing. Discover 2 floors of top menswear brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Levi's and Polo Ralph Lauren. With 1,800 free parking spaces, shop in store at Letterkenny Retail Park or online now.
You're very welcome back to the programme. Now, to something completely different from our last piece. It's more light-hearted because the students and staff of Mulroy College are very excited to return to the stage on Griannon Theatre and present their school musical and variety show. It's this Wednesday and Thursday night. This year they present Grease the musical along with their tradition of a variety show including an array of talented musicians, singers, dancers and actors performing. Trudy O'Donnell is a music teacher at Mulroy College, Milford, and is with us. Good morning to you, Trudy. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to all your listeners.
It's astonishing, isn't it, that a new crop of talent comes through every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
To allow you to put on these amazing shows.
Exactly, and we have students right from first year through to our leaving cert performing on the stage this Wednesday and Thursday night in the theatre. Today I have with me 3 of our 6th year students.
Well, you introduce them then. So I mean, you're an old hand at the radio.
Yeah, I suppose it's also emotional because it's going to be their last show as well. So just to the left of me we have Miss
with
Sarah
you,
Delap.
they're going on to massive careers,
Yes.
right? So don't be too sad. Go on.
I don't think they're ever going to really get rid of me. To the left I have Sarah Delap, and Sarah is playing the part of Sandy in Grease the musical, and she's also part of the school choir. Then we have Miss Gemma McGonigal, and Gemma is playing the part of Marty in Grease, and she's also in the choir, and she's part of the trad group, and she's going to be one of the MCs on the night. She's also our deputy head girl. And then we have Mr. Peter Van Rooven, and Peter is our head boy. He's actually playing the DJ Vince Fontaine in Grease as well, and he is also one of the MCs and is very instrumental as well.
Peter, how much have you enjoyed the whole process so far?
It's been absolutely brilliant. This is my first time really properly getting involved with the variety show, and I've got plenty of work to do with it because I have the MC and I also have my part as Vince and
Do you get
musical,
is he also singing part?
I do have a singing part, yes. I have one
okay.
song, but unfortunately I won't be singing it here today. But you have to wait for the show. But
not how it works. Give us a C. Don't want to joke, right? I have no idea what chord it would be in, but go on.
But yeah, no, but it's absolutely been brilliant. I would recommend anybody to get involved in something like this. It's been really, really good.
Yeah, because you're in 6th year, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So you kind of think, right, I've experienced it all in school, and then this challenge, this thing comes up, and you on you go. Brilliant. Sarah, Sandy in Greece, that's one of the key roles, isn't it? I mean, this is a biggie.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm so honoured to get the role. I've always loved the movie Grease, and I've always admired Sandy, so to get this role, I'm so excited about
so
it.
you're coming into this role with knowledge of the film
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, so it is kind of exciting. And how long have you been performing?
Oh, I've been part of a drama group since I was probably about 9 or 10. So I've always loved performing since I was little, and I just have gotten the opportunity since I've got into secondary school, and I've gotten many roles since then. So.
Yeah, and I was chatting to students from the Finn Valley College. They are putting on All Shook Up or something in January, and they're doing it on the stage in Ballabufey, the Butt Hall, which is astonishing, right? And Yusuf, you're going to be sharing the On Green on Theatre with some of the biggest acts in the country and beyond too. What a setting for you!
We're absolutely buzzing that the Green on Theatre is like taking us on.
It's a big stage.
It is a big stage.
You'll kick backside. There's no doubt about it.
Well fit for that big
Definitely.
stage.
Yeah, and Gemma, not Gemma, sorry, just spoke. No, it is Gemma.
Yep.
Gemma, you're playing Marty in Greece
Yeah.
and performing as part of the Trad Group School Choir, Leaving Cert Dance Act, along with being one of the MCs. Is there nothing else you could have done, or is that just enough?
Well, it's last year I'm able to do it, so I suppose I might as well do everything.
I could just see. Now, who wants to do this? Me. I'll do that. So, what part are you looking forward to the most, or is it just the whole blooming
All of
show?
it. It's just even the run up to the show has been amazing, and it's been so amazing working with all of our friends, and it's just been a really lovely experience.
Okay, so you're going to perform for us first, I think, if that's okay, or did you want to do Sarah first? Whichever you prefer, it's up to you. Maybe in your head you had it planned, so so we do Sarah first. Yeah. Right, okay, so we are going to be telling you all the deets about Grease the Musical. There are tickets still available, I hope. Are there? No, they're all sold out. Oh, blooming hell. So really what we're doing is teasing you, but you can't go. So that's all right.
Ticket there this morning for Thursday night. This one lonely ticket has been sitting, but I'd say it's gone.
All right, okay. So listen, this is more of a showcase and a treat for those of us who can't make it. Right, so Trudy, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm going to be singing Hopelessly Devoted to You, which Sandy sings in Greece.
Guess mine is not the first heart broken. My eyes are not the first to cry. I'm not the first to know there's just no getting over you. I know I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you. But baby, can't you see there's nothing else for me to do? I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. My head is saying, fool, forget him. My heart is saying, don't let go. Hold on till the end, that's what I intend to do. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you.
Well done, I'll clap because your colleagues don't seem to want to. That was absolutely brilliant. What I never realised that song was so high. You did fantastically. Are you glad that's over?
Thank you. No, I love that song.
It's like high and then it just stays high, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it really
and then
does.
it gets a bit higher then.
Yes, but it's a great song to sing anyways. I love it.
Oh, if you can do it, yeah. I wouldn't fancy doing it if you can't sing it, right? Give us a few bars, Peter.
Oh God, no! I wouldn't put you through that now.
All right, brilliant stuff. Trudy, there's so much effort and rehearsals and everything and commitment from, obviously the students, but the teachers and then the set designers. And, I had a preconceived notion of school plays till I went and seen a few of them.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, right, this is actually a full production. This is everything you'd
exactly.
expect from...
the days of the school play are gone.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And
exactly.
I think
The
that's
level.
that's what makes it so special. I mean, to give the students the opportunity. I mean, at the end of the day, you can hear the talent. So I mean, they deserve to get onto a big stage. They deserve that work, and the work is just humongous. The workload is massive, but we're very, very lucky in our school with such accommodating staff, and it comes from the kids. I mean, the kids, you can't do it without the kids.
Yeah.
And the commitment that they have shown. We've been rehearsing basically since sort of started back in May time, but more so just since September. We're in Wednesday evenings, we're in Fridays after school. It's all actually happened outside school. So basically 4 lunchtimes a week and after school, because we were really trying not to impact too much on the class time. We do have 6 Leaving Cert students here. And it's funny because out of all the student groups that are in the show, the 6th year student are the biggest group taking part this year. So and I mean, as I suppose Gemma said, this is their last year, so it's important to throw yourself into it. But yeah, the workload is massive, but again, try not to impact, and that little balance as well. But I mean, come Thursday night, it's done.
All right,
you
might switch off that amp behind you there, just for I don't want it humming during Sarah's piece either, though we couldn't hear it during yours because of the music coming out of it, so don't worry about that. Sarah, what do you do next now in terms of, obviously you've got a talent for the stage and performing and stuff, but I mean, I presume you're going on to further your education. You're in 6th year too, aren't you? So
yes.
How are you going to balance that, or are you going to park the performing and focus on the studies? Or?
I would definitely not park this. It's my passion.
You're going to repeat 6th year? Just have another crack
well,
at it.
I'm planning to take part in like as many musicals as possible outside of school, like pantomimes, and Letterkenny has a lot of musicals happening, and hopefully go further and even do somewhere in Derry or maybe even West End. You never know.
Letterkenny, Derry, West End.
And you never know where it could take
small
you.
steps and then a massive step. Right. Okay, well, listen. And are you going to study something in that space out of interest?
I might take it on. I'm still kind of figuring things out, but I might take it on as another subject. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Right, so Gemma McGonigal, and I haven't forgotten you either, Peter, but you've not coming in to sing, right? So you're not going to get so much spotlight. You hear me? Gemma McGonigal's playing the part of Marty in Grease, performing to us the trad group. You see, when you're a talented musician too, there's going to be an awful lot of demand on you, a bit of overlapping. So, what are you going to perform for us now then?
I'm going to sing Tomoclanish Danta, so it's Macronic. It's in Irish and in English. So, yeah.
What did you say it was?
Macronic.
And that means in 2 languages, yeah?
Yeah, so
Okay,
bilingual sort of.
New word.
I'm going to jump in here because Gemma's very, very modest. Gemma actually is the county champion for score. She won the Scorn and Oak in the solo singing competition there just last weekend. So this Saturday night she's participating in the Ulster semi-final representing Donegal and Fanet Gaels, will not forget. So, yeah.
All right, go ahead there, Gemma.
Tá má clárnis den dá Harúir is ní móna go daní an ban la mé A fag mé moi agus moi lam féin bad na gil chakriwa My match it was made here last night to a girl I neither loved nor liked. I'll take my own advice and I'll leave her behind and go roaming the wild woods all over. You'll miss her, I guess. You'll miss you here. You'll miss your corky. I guess that's right, you're too Balaclea. I saw all day more Colleen Jasny. I can miss you real. She and Van Eyck, more Creek I walked up and I walked down. I walked Cork, Dublin and Belfast times, but none to my eye could I find. She's the wee lass that's left my heart broken. Cheery Mayor, my Jean Gower, Agus for my lady, Romobile a gra. Gerhula me and Spitchaginas and Ladura, Gerili Mogra, Harsalia. I got up 2 hours before dawn. I got a letter from my one true love. I heard the blackbird and the linnet say, my love, she had crossed over the ocean.
Well done, well done. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. And so you're performing in the Greece itself and then as part of the variety performance as well. But
Yes.
sure, when you've got the profile you have, it'd be crazy not to milk it for all it's worth. And Peter, this could be you, you know. I mean, you've got to sing. No, but I don't mean it funny, right? But you've a singing part. We could have been focused on you more.
Well, look, I didn't want to take the spotlight away from these two people. Like,
you're a gentleman, aren't you? You're a gentleman. And come here, what is the role of DJ Vince Fontaine?
well, he's sort of in the show. He's this sort of announcer, radio celebrity kind of guy. He sort of comes on before big events happening, like the school dance and stuff. And he's sort of all slick, and has a song, obviously. And yeah, he's sort of meant to just be this cool dude.
So
who
do you have
comes
to
on.
really ham up the DJ voice?
Oh yeah, you should hear it.
Well, we can't hear it now because it's sold out. The only people going to hear it are those lucky enough that have a ticket. Even that one little lonely ticket's gone now. Trudy, it's lovely for everyone involved when it's a sellout, isn't it? You know,
it's at this stage as well. Like,
yeah.
I mean, this is now that's been, I suppose, over the weekend. We knew we did anticipate it was going to sell out.
But you never know until it sells out.
We never know, but I mean, I think it's lovely not to have that pressure. It's very, very difficult. The amount of work and the amount of cost that goes into a show. And when you don't have to worry about ticket sales, that just is something that really just eases that bit of pressure. But I mean, it's so lovely that it's 2 sold out nights. We've got just under 100 students performing on the stage on both nights as well. But again, it's great that it's sold out, but unfortunately, I suppose, for the people now listening in. But don't worry, we will be back.
Yeah.
We will be back again with more.
And Peter, you would see behind the scenes the likes of Trudy and others making this happen as well too. Obviously, you are giving up your time and your skill and balancing studies and all that stuff. But without people like Trudy, it wouldn't be doable, would it?
As Miss O'Donnell said there, like, there's so much work going on behind the scenes. Like, we couldn't, like, obviously the talent is being brought in from all different sources, like the students, and there is talent as well within the teachers. But like, we couldn't get to that position to actually show our talent if it weren't for them. I do know that the teachers as well will be doing some acts of their own. It's sort of been kept very secretive, but they'll not just be stuck behind the scenes anyway.
You shouldn't say that. People will be returning their tickets. And Camille, what are you going? Do you know what you're going to study next after you ace your leaving cert?
Well,
nothing. Maybe with construction. We need people in construction. Can you not go and do a course in building or something for us?
Unfortunately, that wouldn't really be my big thing.
It's not your bag.
No, it wouldn't be my cup of tea anyway. But I would be big into my sciences, so I was sort of playing with the idea of going to Galway. But now I've sort of humored the idea of going to study abroad. I would maybe go and study in Germany. All things going well.
Yeah, exciting.
It's really, really exciting opportunity. I'm looking forward to it anyway.
Brilliant. Well done to you, Peter. It's a testimony to your hard work as well. And you're in 6th as well, Gemma, yeah?
Yes, I am, yeah.
And what do you know what you're going on to study?
Well, my dream is to become a primary teacher.
Wow,
so,
brilliant.
Yeah, I'm
Excellent.
I'm doing applications at the minute for St Mary's in Belfast. It's one of my main dreams. And be filling out other skills as well. So I'm going to hopefully.
And do you envisage in the future you using your love of music with your students as well? Okay, so we've our next Trudy anyway, or Miss Miss O'Donnell. Yeah, okay. Listen, Trudy, well done to you for again getting putting the spotlight on these amazing young people. Gemma, you were fantastic as always. I'm sure, because you're winning things left, right, and centre. Sarah, tough song. You did it absolutely. Note perfect, brilliant reaction to what you're doing.
Thank you.
And Peter, you're a good talker.
I'm here as well. Yeah, I'm here as well, just for the.
Peter is an exceptional singer as well. He's just been very modest.
And we're going to find out on Wednesday and Thursday. Best of luck with the show. Best of luck with your thing at the weekend.
Thank
and
you.
best of luck with everything that he's gone to achieve in your young lives. And thanks as always, Ms. Trudy O'Donnell. We'll be back with more after this break.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you by Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Take a test drive in the new 261 range. With 5 exciting new models, a 7-year warranty, and finance from 0%, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
For all your training needs, Northwest Forestry Services Training Department Ballybuffet offer a wide range of courses from training bodies such as NPTC City and Guilds, QQI, LADRA and ABA International. Courses include all land-based services such as chainsaw, tree climbing and rescue, pesticides, working in heights and ATV training. Other courses offered include first aid responder, manual handling and building safety, to name but a few. For a full list of training courses and availability, contact Northwest Forestry Services Ballybuffet on 074 9132033.
At Super Value, make it a Christmas with a difference. With 33% off fresh salmon darns. With real rewards, get Ariel and Fairy laundry and cleaning ranges, just 2 for €16. Villa Maria and Campo Viejo wine cases, now €50 each. Plus, check your Real Rewards app for vouchers and make it a Christmas with a difference at Super Value. Please drink responsibly.
It's the Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
At Hidden Hearing, we believe you should keep hearing it all. Keep dancing. Keep celebrating. Keep laughing. Keep being you. Call 1-800-370-000 or go to hiddenhearing.ie and book a free hearing test today. Hidden Hearing. Your hearing is our expertise.
Deal!
Mega Monster deals!
Shh. At Screwfix this Black Friday, our deals are so good we don't need to shout about them. Saving everything you need to get the job done. Power tools, safety and workwear, landscaping, outdoor and electrical. On the new app, in-store and online. Don't miss out. Deals must end 1st of December. Screwfix. No stopping you.
Winter demands more from every drive. The roads are getting darker and wetter. But in a Volvo, you'll be prepared with a complimentary full winter health check from our expert technicians. This includes a comprehensive check of your brakes, wipers, headlights, seatbelts, tires, and more. All carried out with the care and expertise you'd expect from Volvo. Stay safe this winter. Book your winter health check today at McGinley Motors. Terms and conditions apply.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
We have that missing wedding ring back with its owner, and the weather cool and dry for most of today. Plenty of sunshine, just the odd isolated showers. Temperature 6 to 9 degrees. Have a wonderful month.